cheers to episode 135.
Cheers.
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 Brand new Oberon Eclipse.
Oh, I heard big things about that.
Look at it sweat. Oh,
My dad just
Good.
texted me. Do you want to call us and tell us about your first day?
listen to the
No.
show, Dad. It's pretty good. I would say it tastes pretty close to the original Oberon, so I'm not really sure what they're trying to change. Maybe a little heavier, I guess, for the winter months. What's everyone else have? I didn't see.
I got a V8.
Mountains are
What?
blue.
Coors.
Straight water.
I also have
You're saying
water.
a V8. A V8.
Yeah.
That's a first.
Yes, Grant. I just got home. I'm hungry, and it's like kind of like food.
When have you started
I
drinking
can't-
V8s?
When did I start drinking V8s?
Yeah, like
When I was
regularly.
like 14.
Or like regularly.
Like I go out in phases of drinking it.
So
Like,
the
I
2-year
drank it a lot
phase,
in high
when
school.
we lived together, you never drank it.
Not true. Just not true. You just probably don't pay attention. It's not surprising for me at all.
You would notice V8s in a fridge, though. They're pretty easy
No,
to
they're
see.
really small. They're little cans.
That's disgusting. It's like something you get at the airport or like on a plane.
Yeah,
It's just
make your
basically
bloody-
tomato juice.
So
Yeah.
gross.
I
That's
have had a Bloody Mary with V8 before, and let me tell you, it is very gross.
spicy version.
Yeah. Not a good Bloody Mary mix type of drink.
All right. Well, tonight is Monday, October 2nd, 7:54. Welcome in to, I don't know when we should give up the number one sports show in Michigan bit. Should we just always do it?
I think, yeah. You should.
Does it make us sound when we say it, even though
No.
it's not true?
There's no one else
No,
in
it is
Michigan,
true.
so
It's definitely not true.
Name a better Michigan sports podcast.
Rico Beard.
Nope.
Rico Beard.
I
That's
mean,
incorrect.
in terms of listenership, Graham Couches
No.
has to be more than ours.
Oh, Couch in the Rube. Good show.
And then like the one with Nick Baumgartner and Brennan Quinn has to have more listeners. And all like the Detroit Lions ones.
Yeah, but they're
But
only
you could
covering the
argue-
Lions. We cover.
Yeah, you could argue that we were the number one that covering every single team.
Because we're the only one.
Yeah, you could say that. All right, fine. Number one all-around sports show in the state of Michigan. Like I said, it's October 2nd, 2023, 7:55 p.m., 6:55 Central Time, and it's spooky season. October, it's here.
Somebody wake up Green Day.
Oh my
September's
gosh.
over.
It's not-
Yes.
Wake me up.
let me ask our special guest Connor joining us today. Connor's been on the show. Have you been? This is your second time on?
Third.
Third, yeah.
Third time. Noted Packers
Yeah.
fan.
I
That's
haven't
why
had
the
a lot of
timing worked
misses.
to bring him on.
God.
How are you celebrating spooky season this year, Connor?
How am I celebrating October?
Yeah, anything
Handcuffs and
you're doing
No,
differently.
Spooky season.
I really don't celebrate Halloween. I do like to watch some horror movies here and there. We have a pumpkin on our front porch,
Nice.
but
Oh,
that's about
that's
as far as I'll
spooky.
go. Yeah. I'll just drink some beer for the boys and lay down a few parlays.
What's
Spooky.
your favorite
That's how I
spooky
celebrate
movie?
spooky season. Actually, Evan, I think next Friday the new Exorcist film comes out.
Oh,
Which
I'm
looks
not
like
watching
maybe the
that.
most
tell you.
Saw the
terrifying movie of all
previews.
time, so
Oh.
No chance I'm ever watching that movie.
Body in the blood.
Body and blood.
That
like
movie
The
looks very scary.
Mhm.
Looks
Very
horrifying.
scary.
Looks
We
like
saw
my
the
sleep paralysis
trailer
demons.
during Oppenheimer, and Hunter, Evan, your brother, looked at me. He's like, "Yeah, no way, no way."
Anyone else doing
Absolutely
anything
not.
big for spooky season?
Yeah,
No.
no.
Yeah.
What would
I'm
I do,
gonna
Grant? What would you like us to do to be
I don't know.
spookier?
I'm gonna carve a pumpkin. I didn't carve one last year. I'm gonna carve a pumpkin this
I
year.
haven't not carved a pumpkin since junior year of college.
I think I was with you for
That's
that.
a long
No, I
time.
wasn't. I went out to the bar that night.
Everyone, you guys always do the Spartan heads, and it looks very
No,
impressive.
that was
Yes.
I
Some
didn't
people do
carve
that.
a pumpkin, Evan. I painted a pumpkin. That was
Mm.
senior year.
I did that last year. It's a cheat code.
Mm. Mm.
Great, your
Um,
internet is
part two.
poop.
Yeah, there was a little lags there, but it kind of comes and goes. It's like playing Xbox. Just relax. This show, we're going to preview it. It's going to be weekly recaps, as always, some NFL big picture takes, some NCAA big picture takes. Your guys' faces look like something's going drastically wrong.
Well, Evan's screen went black. You're like lagging
Yeah,
in and
dude.
out. Connor's not
Aw.
moving, so I'm just
I
wondering
am
what's
moving.
going on.
You guys are all here for
I'm
me.
trying to figure out.
Looks like the Brady Bunch.
Looks fine on my end.
Whenever we're good now, Evan just went completely lights out dark. And
Really?
I thought
He
was
never went away
I
from me.
did.
NCAA big picture takes, NFL, Ryder Cup, a little bit of Ryder Cup. I did put the Tigers season is done in Miggy, but I don't know if this is the show to get any post game takeaways from that.
Nope.
And then
I
our
thought they
standard
put off fiction.
football
Nope.
Brewers, yeah, I guess. And then
Go Brewers.
recaps of the football games and previews. One less preview this week because there's a bye week for MSU. So maybe we'll put some time
Thank
for the Milwaukee
God.
Brewers in that slot.
Oh, we could just have a shorter podcast this week, Grant.
Jay
We don't
Johnson
need to-
fired?
We don't need to fill that dead time.
Subscribe to YouTube, rate and review, subscribe Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen. I think I've looked at the numbers.
he's
I think
battling.
most people listen to our show on Apple, is what I think. Which kind of surprised me. I feel like
Shout out to
Spotify
Apple.
is
Most
number
people
one.
listen to their podcasts on Apple.
Spotify's where it's at.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm a Spotify member now. That is an update in my life.
Huge.
8
Huge
years
for
too
you.
late, man.
Weekly recap. Alex, even though we have a guest, Alex has to go first. Alex, start us off.
Just spent another week moving. So I had a temporary home, and I had to find a home, and then I had to move into home. So I found a home, and I moved in.
Home is where your heart is.
Yep.
That's really
But all
true.
my stuff in my car was not home anymore. Didn't feel like home. So moved everything in. Did that Friday, most of Friday. And then Saturday I went to a soccer game. Yep. And
Nice.
Sunday I watched football all day. So I didn't do much other than move stuff and threw my back out in the process.
You blew your back out.
I said threw my back out.
How'd you throw your back out?
Lifting stuff by myself because, I didn't have a companion to move my stuff with.
And you're employed
giant
now?
Tupperware of all plates and bowls was a lot. It was very heavy. I don't know what you're saying,
You're
Evan, but I
employed
heard
now?
no way. Yeah, I have a job. I started today.
Nice. Clap.
Is Evan muted?
Alex,
What's happening?
I can't hear him.
No, yeah, I am muted because I have a really bad. I
There he
mute
is.
every now and then.
I'm battling Grant's lagginess and Evan's I thought was muted, so that was just very difficult to get through. I'm talking and looking at you
Is
two,
he talking?
and you guys are so delayed.
I was muted.
He's muted and he's
brutal.
saying you
It's
can't hear
brutal.
me. You guys have to
It's
match.
brutal to watch you guys.
It does throw me off when
I
Evan's mouse
can't
moving.
look at Grant.
If you listen close enough, though, you can hear when Evan clicks the unmute button. You hear it come to life. Now Alex is doing it. Now he's muted. He's doing the bit.
Oh,
It's funny.
gotcha. Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
It is
between the
not funny.
Also, my Wi-Fi is performing. I
Oh.
don't want any chirps on my Wi-Fi.
Oh.
I'm at what? What? I'm at 99%.
We can't hear you.
uploaded, and
You're
it's
just going
never
in and
that high.
out.
That's not true.
You're just going in and out.
Connor, be honest.
Connor,
Yes, you have been going in and out.
Damn it.
you know why, Grant? Because you're poor and you can't pay for better internet.
It's
Well,
fine.
it's uploading
It's
good.
just a few occasions where it does that.
Thank you, Connor. All right.
It's not fine. He doesn't deal with this on a week-to-week basis.
Let's go.
Fix it.
I'm
The
gonna get
results.
let's go down to Connor.
Let's
He's
get
in
this
my bottom
podcast
right
sponsored
corner.
by Xfinity and get free internet.
Like Rico Beard. Down to Connor. Your week.
Why are you holding a football?
Actually,
Did something to do with my hands.
This weekend. It was nice to have kind of a weekend off from tailgating. Friday, just took care of some nice grocery shopping. Saturday, sat in my recliner all day, going right from Premier League football to American football. Go Kentucky and Purdue, big parlay I hit there.
Nice.
Also, Michigan State defense. We can get into that later, but what a wide array of emotions that was.
Yes.
What a fun game.
That was awesome.
It was epic. And then Sunday, no Packers to watch, so it's kind of a boring day, but I mean, any football is a good slate. But really, it was just watching football the whole weekend. Nothing too special.
That is special.
I did
Connor.
think of something based on what Connor was saying. Evan, there's a grocery store here called HEB. I don't know, it's like a Texas thing. But
yeah, I've heard of that.
People like rave about this place. So I will go to this grocery store just for you and let you know how it goes. But everyone has been talking to me. They're like, you have to go to this grocery store. It's the greatest thing ever. So yeah, HEB. Apparently it's
actually also one thing to add. His own camp out was Friday, so I'm not looking forward to that.
Yeah, those are never great.
Absolutely brutal nights. Not even sure if we have a tent that fits our spot, so we'll see.
The morning of the next morning when you have to like go back, it's usually like wet and rainy, and it's just absolutely
5:30 a.m. usually.
Just get up 5:30, pack all your stuff in the cold. Yeah, it sucks.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel
Colby
like from
won't be
knowing.
there.
Correct.
Huh? Correct me if I'm wrong,
Correct.
but from you knowing you guys, it seemed like one of those events where it's like really fun your freshman and maybe sophomore year, and then once you get a little bit older, it just sucks and everyone hates it.
Freshman year is probably the only time it's fun. I would argue it wasn't even fun then.
Sophomore year, well, that
It's
was
cool to like
technically
talk to the players and like do that little bit like one time, and then I didn't care about it ever again. One of Evan and I's is on campouts was in the Breslin Center with Tom Izzo making us do the wave for the 45 minutes. So
sounds
that
like a
was
personal
terrible.
hell.
It was terrible.
I hate the wave.
We would do it. I swear to God, we did it for 30 like straight minutes, and everyone's clearly done with it. And then Izzo goes, "Come on, do it again, do it again." He would just keep starting it. We would just do it over and over again while watching Michigan State, Ohio State in prime time.
That's fun.
Connor, just think of this though: when times are bad, that you can say when this team wins the national championship that you were at the Izone camp out for it.
Or you can say you're at all the games for it.
I just hope I can get like an ounce of sleep. Last year, for like 3 straight hours, this guy was just telling like his life story in California, just blaring music right next to me. So I might need some like, I might have to do something to prepare for that night.
I think your best bet is to just
earplugs and a sleep mask.
To fully prepare that you're not sleeping. It's just better that way. Just sleep the whole entire Saturday.
I know some people that like have created fake wedding invitations and fake birthday parties to get out of it, but
I know people that have done
a
that
lot
as well.
of females do that.
It'll be a fun time.
Marissa.
I'm sure it will be.
An excuse. Snake.
Marissa's entire house did that.
It's not supposed to rain, so it'll be fine.
Evan, what's happened to you in the past week that's worth sharing? Offensive coordinator extraordinaire. First of all, what is that hat?
It's a Chelsea hat.
Kelsey.
Is it? Okay. That is sick. Is that gold? Is it a gold emblem?
It's gold.
Stupid idiot, Grant.
That's sick. That looks like high class.
Pretends you're a Premier League fan and doesn't even know.
I just couldn't tell.
Unbelievable. You're out of the chat.
Well, last time we talked was Wednesday, so it was the day after. Big game tomorrow at Dexter.
That sucks. We did the podcast too early.
You have to wait a whole week until my recap.
Yep.
Don't nobody forget.
I can do that.
I need that. I need that recap.
But I'm
at Dexter. They're good now, apparently.
Dog was barking behind me. Sorry. I was kind of just like Connor. Just sat down and watched football all weekend. It was kind of actually nice to not destroy my body Friday and Saturday night. I destroyed my body mentally watching Saturday's football game.
Thank God I didn't watch that
I
game.
don't know why I invested so much.
The texts I came back to were,
It just pissed me off.
I thought there was some real
But there were some
depression.
other good games on.
Michigan State's defense scored. Who
Of
cares?
the LSU
Not
Ole
everyone
Miss
hit
game
that
because I was watching the Michigan State game, which was unfortunate.
Evan, can I cut
You
you
didn't
off
watch
right
Notre Dame,
there?
dude?
Because I wrote that down on my NCAA big picture thoughts. I just am going to kick myself for the next week that I watched Iowa MSU over Ole Miss LSU. It might be the biggest mistake I've made this football year.
But you probably loved it because you love
Like, I
watching
saw
your friends
Big Cat
suffer and be
tweets. I
miserable.
saw, like,
it's really fun for you. We get it.
College football tweets saying Ole Miss LSU is like the game of the year. This is instant offense. And I was like, great. I'm watching
Could be
paint dry
nice. Could be
over
nice.
on
Could be
NBC.
nice.
Because you want
Sorry,
us to
go ahead.
fail.
It's not true.
Saturday,
It
went
is.
to a small party Saturday night to watch the football game.
House
Yeah.
party.
Who is she?
What's her name?
Nope.
Shout out Greg.
It was not at Greg's. Connor?
Chili?
Oh my God.
Did you make a nice pot of chili?
So I
Call
did
back.
not get the invite for
Had to
that
be
one
there.
either. It was nice, and I left in frustration after we blew the game. And then Sunday, I had to work Saturday morning, which was kind of upsetting. Sunday, then I just watched NFL football and watched my fantasy team just utterly going to lose again because of Nico Collins.
Dumpster fire.
Oof.
Yep. Next week's going to be
That
called
hurts.
Extreme Dumpster Fire.
And that wasn't a chop at Evan. That's his team name is actually
my
named
team
Dumpster
name.
Fire.
I'm going to score 125
Yeah.
points and lose, and there's multiple teams in this league that didn't even score over 80.
I'm going to lose this week for the first time, so
It's disgusting.
it's
Absolutely
disappointing.
disgusting.
I put up.
Yeah, I think I'm playing one of those teams that isn't scoring 80.
Well, you could also be like
I put up
Wyatt and
79
Brad's
points
team,
this week.
and they are going to put up 150 and
Yeah,
lose.
45 and lose by 40. Yeah, that's tough.
Brutal.
Fantasy
Gotta
football
play their
stuff.
defense. Or accept my rule change about getting half points at the Premier League system, but people keep turning it down. Maybe this year we'll change it. Be more work for
We just need to
everyone.
create
That's
our
the
own
only thing I feel
website
guilty
for
about.
it.
Yes, and we have web guys.
We do have web
We have
guys.
tech people in our
Alex, we
league.
need to get our website running.
Oh, yeah, we do. Forgot about that.
I think we should like use some of our league funds, like up the ante,
Up the ante.
and we'll
Evan
pay
keeps a profit
Colby.
that no one knows what it's for.
No, I don't.
Other league items is listed in that notes, and we don't know what
The previous
that
year's
is.
was all money, but now this year's going to kick into. It was all for the food.
food.
But
Now
now
it's going into the winnings.
Evan's
Now-
pocketing
No,
that
now
shit.
it's going into the
It's a
winnings.
Ponzi scheme.
Pocket that
should.
shit.
We should bump up the league fee by like $5 a person, and we pay Colby a one-time fee to like write blogs each week about the league, like observations, and then be a weekly report from Colby about like what happened around the league. I would read that every single Monday or Tuesday. It'd be great.
That would be good. That would be
Like
good.
Wednesday. Call like a Wednesday drop.
I hope Colby has a better job
thoughts.
than that, but
Yeah,
yes.
he makes $60.
Well, side hustle.
He gets to fill his gas tank once.
Yeah.
Thanks,
You guys
Biden.
know how much gas is in the San Francisco area?
$7 a gallon.
Yeah, this
$7.50?
girl that started today in my group, she's like, "Yeah, gas is cheap here. It's like $3.50." I'm like, "It's not very cheap." And she's like, "What do you mean? I was paying $7." I was like, "Oh my god!" I was thinking to myself, if I had to fill up my truck at $7 a gallon, I would be poor in like 2 weeks.
Hmm.
It would be no good.
They make more
Crazy.
out there though. It all works out.
Does it all work out? Really?
Yeah. For some, no. Some, no.
There's the highest percentage of homeless people is in California, Grant.
Well, you were just homeless for a little bit. And you survived.
I did survive, but I'm a warrior.
My weekend, Marissa's grandma came and visited us. It was nice. She did a lot of cooking. She's a great baker. She made cookies. and applesauce. I'm not a huge applesauce guy.
I'm not a chunky applesauce guy. It needs to be
We
smooth for me.
We should. It's very smooth. We
What is
should
wrong with
save
you?
some for Evan based on that
Homemade
reaction.
applesauce is elite.
Evan, it's good.
Warmer
It's-
Cole Grant.
Not
No,
chunky,
chunky.
though. If it's chunky, it's not gonna work. Oh,
No, it's
No.
it's very.
I can't eat
very
chunky stuff.
Smooth.
What's wrong with
And
you?
she has her special thing is she puts Red Hots in it to give it a nice cinnamon, like kind of spicy kick. It's actually not bad applesauce, and I'm not a fan of applesauce.
actually, I've had this applesauce. Marissa has given
Okay.
me this applesauce before. It is really
I
good.
think she makes it every year. I think.
It's actually really good applesauce. It is not chunky. Yeah,
How's her
We got a
chili?
lot of it. Maybe we'll save some.
How is her
didn't-
chili?
It's not. It's not chilly weather yet, guys. It's hot here.
This weekend will be. It's supposed to be like 55. It's exciting.
Yep. Once we get through middle of the week, it's supposed to really dip, and then we're fully in fall. But it was a
Is
hot
it?
one.
It's a good
Mhm.
weekend to go home to
See what the
Tecumseh and
weather's gonna look
pick
like
up some
this
chili.
week.
When's Apple Upkin?
Not this
I don't
upcoming
know.
weekend. I think it's next weekend.
So October, like
The
15th,
October,
16th, something like
yes, 13th through the 15th.
All right, Alex, we'll see you there. Fly back to the Mecca for a celebration.
For what day?
13th
You're
through the
coming
15th.
back to Tecumseh, not this weekend, but next for Apple Umpkin.
The 20th?
No, the weekend
That's
before.
the Michigan game.
Ding dong.
The 13th.
For Alex.
Yes.
Friday the 13th.
Ooh,
Is Apple
spooky.
Ooh.
Spooky.
Exorcist right before that.
Yes. They couldn't
All
do
right, I'll
Apple
see you
Umpkin
guys
on the
there.
same weekend as the rivalry game because no one would watch the game. They'd all be at Apple Umpkin.
Yes.
What else did we do? Did some adulting stuff. Went to a farmer's market in Rochester, and I went in with an open mind. I actually enjoyed it. I bought several things. One of which I'm most excited about. I bought this. Have you guys ever been to the Coney Island in Adrian, Michigan?
Unfortunately, I have been once.
It's like right by the
The
subway.
fact that you like places like
It's
this,
across the
Grant,
street
is
from the subway. I
disgusting.
know exactly where it's at, but I've never been in there.
No,
Yeah.
I know where it is. I've been in
They
there
have a
one time.
drive-through.
I was like 7.
Their Coke actually might be better than McDonald's Coke. It's phenomenal, and they do Greek salads that like it's like a side of your meal if you get like a burger or a hot dog or whatever. And they have this nice pink Greek dressing, which is very rare. I think it's a Detroit, Michigan type of sauce where it was founded, and you can never find it in any sort of grocery store or market. But a guy there was selling it. So I bought a bottle from him and was picking his brain. And he's like, yeah, we sell them in a couple grocery stores around here. And one was a Bush's. There's a Bush's in Rochester, and they have it there. So I will be going to Bush's just to refill that salad dressing whenever needed because it is elite dressing. Elite. And I think that's really the only highlights from the farmer's market.
$400
I was-
for me to go to Apple Umpkin, guys. What do you think?
Worth it. Steal.
5:30 a.m. flight too.
Wow. You could touch down right on the Chicago Boulevard.
Yeah.
Drop me off at the donut. Drop me off at Albert's.
I wish Evan wasn't muted for that
close
screen.
sale. Our eardrums probably are thankful. I also watched the movie Coco. Almost made me cry, I'll be honest. It's a really good film.
Great film.
That is a good film.
Did you guys almost cry?
No, I'm not.
I don't remember much of it.
When
It's
he's
animated.
Yeah, I haven't seen a Pixar. I haven't seen a Pixar movie in so long. They are so good.
Your
at
internet
what they
is
do,
so bad. You're so poor.
like laggy, like I'm cutting in and out.
I can hear you, Crystal.
I can hear
Right.
you really well.
The only thing I've noticed is a little bit of a delay, but I don't think other than that it's that bad. I could be wrong though. I'm seeing you guys perfectly
It's-
fine.
Well, yeah, it's because you're the one with shit internet.
No, it says mine's 99% uploaded. That
Oh.
means things are
We'll
moving
see.
here.
We'll see.
What else? No, it was
Did
the
you do
scene
any
at the
other
end when
boring
little boys
things, Grant?
No, I just wanted to call out, shout out Ryan that goes to Western. His Snapchat story stopped me in my tracks. The fact that they got Bryce Vine singing La La Land in Kalamazoo, Michigan, that really is the mecca of colleges in Michigan, that they got the Bryce Vine out to Kalamazoo. I was like, where is this? He goes, Kalamazoo. And I was like, is that the Bryce Vine? He's like, yep, that's him. So this place is unreal. I mean, he only has one song, but it looked awesome. I would have loved to be there.
No, he's at least two.
What's the other one?
There's one other one. I just don't remember what it's called, but I have it in my library. So there's at least two. No. Let me look.
Anyone else know it?
No.
There's definitely another. Maybe not.
La 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 la. Whoa. I hear myself echoing now.
Sorry.
Alex.
I think it's called
Naughty.
Drew Barrymore. Is that a popular song by him?
Yeah, I know how that track goes.
Sour Patch Kids?
Here's something Barry, and I want more.
That's his most played
That's how it
song.
goes.
Yeah.
Not over La La Land.
No, it is actually, Grant. 321 million. La La Land is 219 million.
And he went to Kalamazoo. Unbelievable.
He has 3 songs over 100 million.
All right. That's enough of our lives. Let's get into football. NFL big picture takes. We have a guest, Connor. We're pretty new at doing this, but really it's just rapid fire takes around the horn. If people agree with it, agree with you. If they disagree with it, they can say why, or we just simply move on if it doesn't capture us. Connor, I want you to start. If there's anything on your list that you're thinking after this week of college or professional football, I need to know.
Houston Texans win the South. CJ Stroud, good Ohio State
Alex
quarterback.
He's really good. I had the frisky Texans. That was a statement game from them, the way they destroyed the Steelers.
I don't know. I think Pittsburgh's garbage.
Back-to-back blowouts.
Pittsburgh's garbage.
But old
Matt.
Texans don't win that game.
Remember when Matt told me that the Steelers were just as good as the Lions? Meyer.
I mean, Kenny Pickett's not good also, so that kind of contributes to that.
Matt also
Trubisky
said that
can turn
Derek
around.
Carr was better than Jared
I think
Goff.
it was better than Jared Goff.
Yeah, so was Derek Carr.
I saw a stat today that said Pittsburgh hasn't had over a 400-yard offensive game in 39 consecutive games.
Shout out Matt Canada.
Like everyone else in the league has
Not
had
good.
9 of those games.
Not good.
I miss Big Ben. I miss what he can do in society, too.
I have a take.
Oh, Alex.
Bill Belichick is
would-
nothing without Tom Brady.
Wow.
Agreed.
Bill Belichick is
I think
still
it's
living
a
in
little
2005,
after the
thinking he
year.
can run the ball
Aggressive.
first.
Yeah, well,
This
it
is
doesn't
Bill
work.
Belichick's fault because he doesn't invest in playmakers. Bill Belichick does not
Bill
draft
Belichick
well.
is having a Mark Antonio thing
He
going
does not
on.
draft well. It's a proven fact.
Stuck
He does
in
not
his
draft
ways.
Good comp with Mark D.
No offense to Mark D, but
I feel like they have
Reid
one or
was
two
a,
guys that
Mark
are really
Antonio
good,
rookie.
Evan, and
Never
then
forget.
they miss on some.
it doesn't
does.
matter. Evan. Doesn't take away from 2016, 17, 18, and 19.
You would wish you would still have him with the
I think
debacle that's
the-
going on right now.
We would still suck. We'd just be average.
Have a better defense.
I think, Alex, your point was a little extreme, but I think the
No, I don't think
gist
so.
was right. I think more Brady than him was helping.
How many
that dynasty,
playoff games
for
has
sure.
Bill Belichick won without Tom Brady?
Did they win with Matt Castle or no? Did they lose that?
Didn't make the playoffs.
How many
They won
playoff
10
wins does Tom
games
Brady have
and didn't make
without
the
Bill
playoffs?
Belichick?
Several, Connor. Several. They did not make the playoffs with Matt Castle.
Really? They won.
Oh
they won
yeah,
10 and
fact
6 and
check us,
missed.
Grant. Yes.
I'm just surprised that they went 10-6 and didn't make it. That's brutal.
New England just needs to move on at the end of the year. They got to start fresh, hire Eric
Does anybody
Bieniemy,
have the Monday Night Football game
Eric
up?
Bieniemy.
draft Drake May.
No.
Wait,
Should I?
11-5, and they didn't win the playoff game.
Well,
You're
the
saying?
Dolphins ran the
Or didn't make a playoff
Wildcat
game?
that year. First time anyone ever did it, and the Dolphins made it to the playoffs.
I gotta do more digging on this.
The Browns
I have
also
to do
won
more
10
digging.
games and didn't make the
I need to know
Lovie
playoffs.
what
Smith also
happened.
won 10 games and got
You guys
fired.
give out more takes while I research. And Jim
Belichick's
Caldwell.
made the playoffs. What are you looking up?
Belichick wins
If he's
without
won a
Tom
game?
Brady in the playoffs.
Alex said they
I think he
didn't make-
probably has, but
Regular season. Yeah, I
If they
guess
did make it,
They
they
won
lost.
11-5. They won 11-5 and didn't make the playoffs.
thanks for not
How's that
believing
possible?
in me. Other teams were better.
The Dolphins won the division at 11-5, and the wild cards were the Colts at 12-4 and the Ravens at 11-5.
Yeah, it's.
That
I think
would
the Browns
suck
won 10
if you
games
went
and missed the
11-5 and didn't make the playoffs. Good thing we expanded to 7 teams. Am I right?
Even though
I would
that's
say
happened
my
once in the
overall-
NFL history.
My overall winner of the week is the Buffalo Bills. I think they won the week, at least on Sunday. They won the week. That was a statement win. They put the Dolphins back in their place in the division, and they just pounded them.
Yeah, it's fair.
On the topic of good teams, 49ers are the best team in the league right now, for sure. And I don't have any questions in my mind about that.
Who is?
49ers.
Yes, they're very good.
I mean, Sunday Night Football against the Cowboys coming up. I don't know where
Oh,
it's
I
at.
like
but
that.
I think it's
San
at
Francisco win by
Jerry's
15.
World.
San Francisco is not going to win every game by double digits, Connor.
I mean, they didn't beat the Rams by double digits, so
Yeah, so why do you think they would beat the Cowboys by 2 touchdowns?
Cowboys lost to the
Cowboys are
Cardinals.
overrated.
Yeah, the NFL is
By
a
12,
difficult
Cowboys won
league.
by double digits.
It's a difficult league.
Not for San
That's
Fran.
why everyone's freaking out when the Lions lost to Seattle. Thought the Lions were going to go undefeated, and it was a letdown.
It was a letdown.
But that's
I
not how the
trust-
NFL works.
I trust in Skip Bayless and Ernestine Bayless that the Cowboys are frauds.
They are frauds.
I
San
think the Cowboys
Francisco-
are good.
But also Philadelphia. I mean, they're kind of churning every week, just barely escaping. Cowboys actually win the division. Spin zone.
No, Cowboys will not win the division. Eagles has their first 1:00 game.
Eagles.
They're going to be the
Evan
first
looks
NFC
great,
team to
even though
win
they're undefeated.
back-to-back years. Like 17.
Yeah, it's bound to happen at one point. Quit sending snaps, Alex.
What are you doing? Oh.
It's okay.
I would say the Eagles, though, I agree. They have looked kind of lethargic, but we have to remember they were in the Super Bowl, and the Super Bowl hangover is real. So it's impressive that
And
they're
they're
not
4-0.
fumbling around out the gate. Yeah.
No,
So
I mean, they're
you-
good.
Yeah.
So let's not write them off, Grant, and say San Fran's better than them.
San Fran's the best team in the league. Right now.
For now.
I have a question for Evan, or something just for him to address.
Oh,
One, did you see Lamar Jackson's throw to Mark Andrews? And do you have any comment on Lamar's passing ability after that display?
And his rushing touchdown.
Alex, he's a running back.
Answer the
Throw to
question.
Mark
See the
Andrews,
throw to Mark
Alex.
Andrews,
Don't
that's
divert my
all.
question.
I turned the game.
Not surprising. Evan chose not to see it.
I moved back to the game after I was watching my Titans score a bunch of points on the Bengals.
Bengals
And
stat.
Mark Andrews was sitting on the bench, and I was like, nope. Lamar Jackson just threw a touchdown pass. I didn't see it. Didn't see it. Don't care.
Bengals are dead.
Lamar Jackson's overrated.
Well, you might want to look it
Talk
up.
about a team with
That's all
no
I'm saying. You
weapons.
might want to look that throw up.
The Ravens.
Zay Flowers.
They had to get him
Zay
the ball for him to
Flowers.
be
Zay
like good.
Flowers. He catches like 9 passes a game for 11 yards.
They said they were going to have a brand new...
Do you guys want to hear a crazy stat?
Yeah. Love
Yes.
it.
Alvin Kamara had 13 catches.
Yes, 33 yards. Lowest in the
For
NFL
33
history
yards.
for somebody with 13 catches.
13 catches for
That's-
33 yards.
It's a great
It
fantasy day,
is.
though.
PPR.
16 points. Boom. That'd be so infuriating to play against.
13 catches for 30 yards.
Connor, are you a Marvel guy? You like Marvel movies?
I would consider myself a has-been diehard, but I've kind of drifted away from Marvel.
Well, answer me this. I thought about you guys, my Marvel friends. How messed up was it? Now, take Taylor Swift out of it. Let's say you like her. Let's say you don't like the coverage, whatever. That's separate. But how about them just glossing over that Wolverine and Deadpool walked in with her, and you get no mention of that? I mean, that was arguably bigger to me, the fact that she got Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively to go with her, but just all her. I mean, we're not talking about Wolverine and Deadpool. That's tough for the Marvel guys out there.
I mean, you would expect them to say something about it, but also Taylor Swift is the biggest cult in America behind Christianity. So I just think it's really, you have to kind of show her off.
Also, Grant, Deadpool and X-Men are like some of the least popular Marvel films there are. And they're not in the big movies.
I think Deadpool's big. Deadpool's big, and I don't even know much.
Deadpool movies
Wolverine's
are bad.
big. Wolverine's big. X-Men was a really big thing. Maybe not right now, but
yeah,
Wolverine's
Alex, you don't know ball.
Well, I'm just telling you right now, the big Marvel movies that everyone's obsessed over the last 5 years or more, 10 years. No, those movies aren't in that pool. Not even close.
Deadpool 3 is coming out soon.
Deadpool's bad movies. Those movies are not good.
Really? They're not.
What?
I
Deadpool
don't
2
like
is not great. Deadpool 1's a really great film.
Agreed.
So cheesy and bad.
You
like that movie, Grant? That's
movies
the
rated
least
R.
surprising thing
I've never seen it. I don't know. I can't believe
you probably would like
Alex,
it because
shame
it's so stupid. You'd probably like it.
I've seen clips of it. I don't know if the humor superheroes for me, but
Right, Grant.
I don't know.
Did any of you guys happen to catch the Toy Story stream?
I did. It was super terrible.
Terrifying.
I didn't have
Fuck
ESPN
ups.
Plus, but I have Disney Plus, and so that was like my only option. And
I mean,
it got
yeah,
so bad. I watched it for like a quarter. I was like, I can't watch this. I'll just not watch the game.
So you were just watching it. Well, we were watching the regular game on the big TV with Toy Story right above it. Because we're. But how can you just watch the Toy Story game without? I mean,
Trust me,
it was awful. There's so many delays where it was just Booger talking to you.
It was
Andy's room.
really terrible. It was not fun.
I didn't watch that game at all. I just watched the Ryder Cup.
I was also
That was
watching the
sad,
Ryder Cup
though.
anyway, so it didn't matter.
I don't have ESPN Plus as well, so they canceled me out.
I'll not get ESPN Plus because I have no reason for that.
I saw the Bajan Juke, though. That looks sick as an animated character, I'll be honest. That was cool.
Yeah, it was,
Can you guys see, Grant?
Yeah, I think.
Just as long as you can hear me, that's all that matters. Just hear
Your
me.
screen's
That's
gone
all. I
for
just
me.
need
It's
you.
just a little. It's just your audio at this point. It's all good.
That's fine. I just need you to hear me, Alex. I don't need you to see me.
So poor.
NCAA big picture takes. We're moving into that. I need this from you guys. We're through 5 weeks. We're about to hit 6, so we're about to be halfway through. I need to know who your top 5 is right now before we get into the nitty gritty of big time games.
My top what?
I should call someone to go first. Alex, you go first with your top 5.
Top 5?
Oh,
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll go Michigan, number 1. I'll go Texas, number 2. Georgia, number 3. And then I'll go with Washington, 4. And let's go with Florida State, 5.
Okay.
That was just
Connor?
off the dome, not looking at anything, so I could have missed someone. But that's okay.
top 5, I would say Michigan 1, Texas 2, Ohio State 3, Oregon 4, Alabama 5.
Alabama 5. Somebody
No
likes
Georgia.
Nick Saban.
No Georgia. I don't.
No Georgia.
No, not I. Well, I would say Ole Miss because that was an electric game, but they looked like shit against Bama. But Georgia looks like a just garbage right now, and Bama has 2 back-to-back convincing wins. What, Alec? What, Gilly? What is that?
Whatever. Evan, your turn. Just can't believe that's what I just heard from you, but whatever.
I put Bama over Georgia?
You put Bama over a lot of teams. But anyways. Evan?
I'm gonna go Georgia 1, Texas 2,
Auburn 2.
Washington 3, Ohio State 4, Michigan 5.
You're a troll.
I like that. I like that.
Troll people.
I haven't beat anybody, sorry. Ohio State went on the road and beat number 10 in the country, number 8 in the country after the polls come out, or whatever they are.
They did.
Grant, Michigan 1,
I'm gonna
Michigan
go
2,
Georgia
Michigan 3,
1.
Michigan 4, Michigan 5.
No.
Yes, Georgia 1, Grant. Yes, then after everything, I don't really care.
Not in
Georgia
Connor's
1.
top 5.
Georgia's got to stay number 1. No, we just don't see eye to eye on that, me and Connor. I keep Georgia at 1. That'll play itself out. Put Michigan in at 2. I think they belong there. Who do I like at 3? I'm going to go with my guys, Florida State. I'm keeping Florida State at 3. They haven't done anything to make me think differently. They've beat 2 solid teams, I
Struggled
would
mightily
say.
against Boston College. Should have lost to Clemson. LSU isn't that good. Just lost to Ole Miss.
They got a good resume, though, if you're going to start stacking games against other teams. I'll keep Ohio State at 4 as they are right now. That we'll see how that plays out. And then I'll throw Washington in at 5 right now, just because I think they have a better offense than Oregon. And
no
the defense
Texas
is worse.
in the top 6.
No, that's actually it's one of the points that I think I'm gonna die on right now. I think Oklahoma's a lock to win next week. Sorry to your Longhorns boys. And I saw this tweet
A lock.
from a lock. I will be betting on them financially. I think Oklahoma's winning that game. This is from @Jertriot, Jertriot.
Reliable source.
It's one of these things I just don't know enough about watching them week in and week out, but he put it very bluntly. He just said, these are just facts, not opinions. Texas has faced 3-time transfer JT Daniels, Alabama's worst quarterback in 15 years, Wyoming's backup quarterback, Baylor's backup quarterback, and Kansas's backup quarterback. So I do think they have a good team and probably the best team they've had in a while. I'm just not ready to throw them in my top 5. I'm going to need to see a little bit more.
You didn't even put them at
quarterback
6.
with a pulse.
They beat Alabama.
Who, despite
That's the
Connor's
best win
ranking,
of
I
any
don't
team
think-
in the country.
I disagree. I think Ohio State beating Notre Dame is better than Alabama.
So you
Ohio
think
State beating Notre Dame is
Alabama
better.
would lose to Notre Dame?
Yes, 100%. Notre Dame has a better quarterback, and they're just as physical.
100%. Even though Alabama's probably better.
Duke.
Yes. Duke's good. Duke's a good team. And it was at Duke in a high school field. That's a tough place to win.
You think Notre Dame wins at Bama?
At Bama, probably not. That's different. But if you're neutral
That's
site,
what Texas did.
I don't know, somewhere where
Yeah, Texas did that,
Won
Grant.
by 2 touchdowns.
Easily.
Yeah.
But you don't think
I didn't
Notre
have
Dame
Notre
can?
Dame in my top 5?
You
No,
just
I
said
think
Notre Dame was better than Alabama.
So now, than Alabama, yes, but now Texas is irrelevant. I would say I'm not comparing Notre Dame and Texas, right? You guys have me confused in my own argument now. I'm not comparing
guess
Notre Dame
now
and
I'm
Texas.
Yes, you're
I'm
right.
comparing,
Yes, you're right.
Yeah. Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
My point was
I was
Texas
thinking
has
about all
a
these-
Texas's win over Alabama is better than Ohio State's win over Notre Dame.
No.
That was the
To me,
argument
no.
we were having.
All right. Yeah. Well, I guess we'll disagree because Alabama. No. Alabama's not good this year. They're still good.
I've never heard
I
someone
don't
be
think-
that confident about a team he's watched this year play one time. But
Well, because the biggest
hey,
thing to
man,
me,
do you? Bad take.
and it's really just one bet. It's a gambler's scoring. Alabama loses to Texas, gets embarrassed by 10 points. They go to South Florida to play South Florida, a team they should mollywop, and they win by 14 points. It was 17-3. That's not Alabama. Old Alabama wins that game by 45. So that right there told me these guys just aren't built like that, and that they're going to struggle.
What about
Their third
beating Ole
their
Miss
backup
and
quarterback
Mississippi
played.
State in back-to-back weeks after that?
Mississippi State is really bad at football. They are one of the
What
worst.
about
They
Ole
are a
Miss?
really bad Power 5 team. Ole Miss, they always have Ole Miss number, and that was a good win.
What are you going to do
Ole Miss
when
is also soft.
Alabama's in the SEC title game again? Because you know they're going to be.
No, Alabama's going to lose.
I mean,
Barring injuries, Alabama's going to lose to Kentucky on November 11th
Where's it at?
at Kentucky.
Future Michigan
Alabama
State
will be
coach
in
Bob
the SEC
Stoops might have his boys ready.
it's Mark Stoops.
Or Mark Stoops, same thing.
I mean, their schedule's not daunting. I'll give you that, but I don't think they're a legit team to make the playoff this year. I'd be stunned if Alabama made the playoff. Stunned.
Well, I don't think they'll make the playoff because they'll lose the SEC championship game. But this all just comes back to, I think, if Texas and Florida State played on a neutral field right now, I think they win. If Texas played Oregon on a neutral field right now, I think they win. And if Texas played Notre Dame on a neutral field right now, I think they win. Florida State.
So you're
Oregon.
all in on Texas.
Yeah, I mean, they're incredibly talented. They have a good coach, and they have a good quarterback. So, yes.
All
What's not to like?
I'm excited. They have things to like. I just don't think they've played anyone with a pulse, which a lot of teams haven't.
What's not to
I'm
like?
just not ready to go there with them.
But you're ready to go there
Their
with
track
Michigan.
record. Michigan's track record is better than Texas's. They
What
get a
about
benefit
Ohio
of the doubt.
State?
They're top 4. They get a benefit of the doubt.
Well, they have a new quarterback.
They have benefit of the doubt. They beat Notre Dame. If they don't have that win, they're not top 5. I thought they'd lose to Notre Dame. They beat them. They shouldn't have, but they did. We're in a blend.
So why does Florida State 5? It doesn't make
'Cause
any
they have
sense
an
why
impressive
Florida State
resume
would be
and they
5
beat
and Texas
everyone.
wouldn't be. Alabama would beat LSU,
has
Grant.
Florida State has 2 good wins.
No, they don't. Clemson stinks.
I don't think at Clemson is not a bad win. It's a
They
good
didn't
win.
even deserve to win that game. They should have lost.
I'm not playing in your hypotheticals if you lost. You could do that about a
No,
million games
Grant.
throughout history of college football.
All this is
They won the
about
game.
is that you said preseason, Florida State is going to make the playoffs, so that's why you're dying on that hill. But Texas is better than them, and you know it. It's fine. We'll see.
I don't know
It's
that.
fine.
I'm going to ride Florida State. Those are my guys.
And Texas is going to lose to Oklahoma, I guess.
I have a
It's
question.
guaranteed.
Question.
So do you think Oklahoma makes the playoff then? Do you see them losing a Big 12? Because one Big 12 team is probably going to make the playoff. I would think one of them is 12-1. Oregon both could be 12-1.
They seem recently to always shoot themselves in the foot and find a way to lose 2 games. But I guess then if I'm saying they win the Red River shootout, then they should hypothetically make the playoff. I do think they have the quarterback play to do that. And I think their defense is actually solid this year. If you look at their scores, the most they've given up is 20 points, and it was in a
Oklahoma?
blowout.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oklahoma's a top 8 team.
Who'd they beat?
I mean, no one insane, but I just think
Oklahoma State.
overall,
Crickets.
no, they don't have the Alabama win. They don't.
Your
But
flawed
the good
argument.
thing is we get to see them
Your
play Texas.
argument is completely flawed, and you know it. Let's have another debate.
I wasn't saying they're better yet. He asked me if I think they're going to win the game, will they make it to the playoff? And I said, based on that, what I'm saying, they probably will.
I have a question for the group.
Okay. It's week 5. I love how just married to takes we are.
Is J.J. McCarthy the second best quarterback in college football? Because, yes, Grant tweeted it, Grant mentioned it, but someone else texted me the same thing and told me I was delusional for not thinking that. So just want to hear your guys' thoughts.
He is not even the top
Evan, you're
3
muted.
quarterback.
I need those
in the Big
no's
10.
live.
No.
He's not the top 3 quarterback. in the Big Ten.
No.
He's not top 3 in the Big Ten, Connor. That was
Yeah.
aggressive.
No, you have Caleb Williams, you have Bo Nix, you have Michael Penix. Okay?
Audacious.
All right.
It's simple.
Michael Penix.
He's better than Bo Nix. I know that for a
Grant,
fact.
we
He's better than
can-
Bo Nix.
Michael Penix is better than JJ.
No, he's not.
Can we say that? Can you say
Yes.
that? Grant, can you say
Bo
that?
Nix as well.
I think all right, let me phrase it like this. I think the argument could be made that Penix is better. What I would say as a Michigan fan is if you said you would make a trade straight up for Penix and McCarthy, I'd keep McCarthy. So that's my stance on it. If that's me saying he's better, then yes, I guess I'm saying I think he's better. But I wouldn't trade for Penix if you offered me that today. Like saying he can know the
Just
system.
because he doesn't run like JJ does? Like, what's your reasoning? Because he's better at
He's not a flaunty douche.
Sure, he's a name we don't know
on the sideline of Nebraska game.
He's older, more mature, probably not going to make a lot less mistakes.
Look, we can debate, like, yeah, he's a household name. He's put up insane numbers, but the kid, he hasn't won anything of substance. I'm just taking the guy that I've watched with my own eyes win the Big Ten at Ohio State. Yes, he lost to TCU, but I'm taking that. I'm not making
on his
trade.
arm.
That's all. I'm declining the trade. Yeah, they won it on JJ's arm in Ohio State. I will take that.
And lost on his arm and against TCU.
Yeah. Yes. But what has Penix done though? What has he done?
Yeah. You could argue that JJ has a much better team, top to bottom.
Penix won in Spartan Stadium.
And I also think if you put
not yet, he
JJ,
will soon, Evan. Don't worry.
Oh, yeah, it's gonna be a murder's row.
If you put JJ in Kalen DeBoer's system, he's going to have those stats. I mean, I'm 100% sure of that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he would.
All right,
if they just
let's get back to the topic.
He would.
So, Grant, in your honest opinion, you actually think J.J. McCarthy is the second best quarterback in the entire country?
The
only kid who threw 3 interceptions against Bowling Green.
Yeah, people always say that because it's like fun to say, but
no, it's because it happened 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but it's not like it matters.
Well, we don't have much sample size.
If he does it in a real game that matters, then fine. And I know, yes, TCU was bad, but he's a different player this year. Like, I'm not going to hold.
He's a different player this year. Even though you haven't seen him play anybody good.
Correct. Watching him play football, he's different than he was last year. He's
the second best quarterback in the country.
My stance is that if it's a fair question. The only quarterback I would trade for him is Caleb Williams. That's it.
A lot of Michigan fans responded to our tweet and said not to. So I just wanted your.
I don't disagree
because there's a lot of people that said like 3, 4, 5.
I think top 5 is he can't be. I don't think he's below that. I think he's top 5. I'm saying I was curious if you asked those people, would you trade him? Who would you trade him for? I'm only trading him for Caleb Williams. That's it.
I would say I think he could be debatably left out of the top 5. I'd say he'd be right at 5 for me because I would put Ewers in all 3 of Bo Nix, Caleb Williams, and Penix over him. I would say top 5.
I would not.
I can't really think of any other. I would actually maybe put Sam Hartman over him. But
I wouldn't do that.
You said you want to put Penix over him, Alex?
Something.
I would put Penix over him. I'd go Caleb Williams. I go Michael Penix, and those are my clear 1 and 2. And then
Ewers and you don't like Bo Nix?
No, I don't.
No.
I wouldn't put Ewers in the top 5 either. I don't know. JJ's probably like 3 or 4. Probably 3.
I mean, style of football and conference defenses is just such a weird factor.
It's also,
it's hard compared to the
different
NFL.
Offenses, so I don't know. Evan,
there's a lot of good quarterbacks this year.
We can revisit this weekly, I think, because it's going to change.
Thorne's got to be top 5, so you got to make room for him.
He's a running back.
It doesn't matter. My argument's
Evan,
valid.
Give us your top 5.
We already did it last week.
I know, but it can change.
Top 5.
Shadur, can he still be in the top 5? Still a good player.
Sorry. He's a bum.
Thanks, Evan.
Overrated.
I appreciate that.
Fine. He's not a bum.
Well,
you just don't.
He throws a lot, though. If JJ threw as much as him, he'd have better stats. There's no doubt.
I don't think so.
If JJ had Colorado's team, he would throw a lot more interceptions.
Also, if I'm going to stand up for my guy, and this is no offense to Roman Wilson, but that's his best target. If you gave him Romeo Odunze, Jalen McMillan, and Jalen Polk and Jeremy Bernard, I'd love to watch that offense. That would be electric.
Good kid.
He's throwing to He's throwing to Cornelius Johnson. No offense, I like Cornelius Johnson, but that's his
Sounds
target.
Sounds like you're throwing shade against your boys.
No, Connor.
Not true,
That's what I said. No shade.
He isn't a Michigan man, actually.
I went to
He didn't
Butler.
go to school there,
I went
Connor.
to Butler. That's why I'm unbiased. People forget that sometimes.
Michigan man.
Evan, I didn't know if you want to say anything about Peyton Thorne before we move on to other topics, but he had a huge game. They almost pulled it out. I was rooting for
He
you.
did not have a huge
The
game.
game was huge.
Yes, he did.
Fucking do
Don't get the number one team in the nation.
anything. Dude,
The
he
run.
had a
I'll never forget
61-yard
the
run, and he had 70 yards rushing in the game.
The run.
Yeah, sacks.
He threw for 30
Sacks go
yards.
against his rushing total.
Well, if they stopped rotating him out,
Yes.
he'd have better numbers.
They rotate him out because
And
he's
some of his
bad.
players on the team could actually catch a football.
No.
There were 4 drops in the fourth quarter.
Well, we don't need to argue about Peyton Thorne. It's worthless.
7 yards of carry.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Helps when you get
Can't believe-
60
I kept
on
saying-
one play.
I kept being like, I can't believe he only has 82 yards passing and they're about to beat the number one team in the country. Just a wild game of football.
Well, Connor's overreacting and says that Georgia's not top 5 because they struggled at Auburn. So,
Right.
Connor is a prisoner of the moment.
In South
overreaction
Carolina,
Monday.
they struggled against. They struggled against South Carolina.
I'm hearing it's Michigan's year then, based on Connor's thoughts. Then if Georgia's out, then I like our chances.
No,
If
because
if
he
Michigan
thinks
doesn't win at all,
Bodacious
then-
is the
I
best
think.
quarterback.
I don't think any Pac-12 team is going to make the playoff, even though I think they're all really good.
They
I just think
can't
they're going
because they all beat each
There's
other.
too much depth in Washington State, Oregon State, Utah. All those teams are good. I just don't see it.
Evan, can we
to
talk about why you're obsessed with Oregon State?
Do you know how good they are?
They
One
lost
game.
No, they
They
didn't.
lost to Washington
They lost
They
State.
beat
Last-
Utah.
last week.
They lost. They won their most recent game.
Yes, I know that, Connor. They lost the week
They're
before.
a quality team that
I
nobody
just
talks
don't know
about.
why
Patrick
Evan
Sweat.
likes them so much. I just don't get
A
it.
quarterback that's better than
They
JJ
don't get-
McCarthy plays for Oregon State. Well, look at the stats this year. That's all I'm
Right.
going on. I'm not a Michigan fan. I don't live in the
I
past
would
or
ar-
previous years. I look in the now.
Oh, no.
DJU is better.
I can't-
than JJ.
I don't have the energy to argue DJ Uigalele versus JJ McCarthy, but I appreciate that perspective, Evan.
Well,
I'm rooting for Oregon State. They made
they
me
got
money.
better. They
I
had
bet
better
on-
wins.
Today it's a tough conference. There's no debating that. Nebraska was a lay down. Before we get into recaps of more football, let's break it up with some Ryder Cup talk. Very disappointing. Connor, as the ultimate Bryson, fan in the planet, your official statement on him not being picked for the Cup.
I mean, whoever let Zach Johnson make the picks is just a idiot. Because Bryson's a top 5 golfer in America. I mean, he shot a 58. He's won 2 of the last 3 league tournaments. He was, right in it on Sundays in the last few majors. But at the same time, U.S. hasn't won a Ryder Cup on foreign soil in 30 years, so you can't really expect to win. But it's just pathetic how they started. And then
I like
Sam
how they
Burns
battle pack.
getting mentioned was just silly. The Sam Burns pick was just silly. So I think Bryson definitely should have been chosen. But, still an entertaining finish Sunday. So
I'm on
Go
Connor's
USA.
side. I think Bryson should have been picked just the way that the course was laid out.
He could have
It
hit some
wasn't-
pops.
it-
like
if you
Rory
look
was
at
doing.
his U.S. Open
Short
championship
course.
that he won, that Bryson won, he was just out driving everybody and saying, I will hit in the 8-inch rough. He could have done that in Italy.
The only thing I worry about with Bryson in Italy is these greens were like lightning fast, and he's a
he
terrible
can't
putter.
putt.
Yeah,
He's
but
terrible at putting.
But
Hey,
also,
I
you
mean,
had the Friday and Saturday where you had partners to help him out.
I mean, I don't know who was. We won 1 out of 8 in alternate shots. So I just think
Ricky
that we'll just
Fowler
never
is-
be good at alternate shot. Ricky had
Sorry.
a terrible
awful.
week.
I think you also have to put him with the correct people that he needs
Sorry.
to play with.
Sorry, Evan. Evan, question for you, since his name got brought up, and not to bury your guy, but what are we doing conceding the putt for the Ryder Cup? Is the official stance that he didn't know
Can't
it
do
was for the
that.
tournament, or what? Why did he do that? Is he too nice?
He knew.
I think he's
Did he
too
know?
nice
He
and he In
Yes,
that
he knew.
situation, he just put his ball in the water. He knew he was going to lose that hole no matter what. Tommy Fleetwood drove the green.
Not only did he
Yeah.
concede it when he shouldn't, but he also took away from Europe's
Good.
moment. He could have made
It
that.
actually was mean.
Yeah,
It
it
actually
would have
was
been better
mean.
if he would have made it and got to celebrate that. Instead, he picked it up and then looked at the
Mac
crowd
and
celebrating.
Tits-
It was just way less cool.
Mac and Tits missed a
didn't
putt that
lose.
short just the hole or two prior.
Weekend.
Did
He didn't lose all weekend.
Did any of you guys see that old man just run
was
into
weird.
the
Yes.
water?
So awesome.
The security guard,
That's
the
Alex
security guard took a
Walker's.
Steph Adam.
No, in a
And they
couple
gave up.
years. You think I'm going to look like
At
that in
that
a couple
pace.
years?
No, you
I am-
run like that.
Stop. It's ridiculous.
The guy was moving. That wasn't an
Evan, I am
insult.
going to Bethpage. You want to go?
Beth Page in North Carolina.
New York.
I don't think he'll be able to make it. Houston's
I
got
think it's in
a
Bethpage, New York.
game that weekend.
Hmm.
It's in
Yeah, that's the point.
2025.
Houston's got a game that weekend.
So you don't
I'll
want to go.
What is Alex starting goalie? I think
Yeah,
he can make
I
it.
see what I don't play.
On the whole hat drama, I mean, that was definitely spiced it up. My only takeaway that I was thinking about even today, as I heard more people discussing it, it sounds like the tweet was like obviously wrong. The guy, whoever the reporter was, like messed parts of it up. But it is true that Cantlay and Shoffley, I believe, are annoyed that players don't get paid for that. And I'm on their side. Why would you not make money for playing in that event? I understand it's for like pride of your country, but like, are we really going to be stingy with one of the biggest events
pretty
in all of
surprising they
sports
don't
and just
get paid
not
for,
pay the
like-
people in it?
It's very weird they don't get paid for that. I didn't actually
The amount
know
of
that until
Rolex
this
commercials they shoved in my face that I had to watch all weekend with the playing through graphic, and those guys make no money for all the money that NBC makes. Insanity.
Now,
I
granted, the
understand
guys
why they're
on the
pissed
team
off.
make a shit ton of money, so they're very wealthy.
Fine.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, they probably should have got paid.
Just
Cantley
pay
also
them.
said
Solves
that
the whole
that
thing.
was all BS anyways, though. So
I heard the pay stuff is real. I heard he really does like make chippy comments about not being paid.
yeah, he's kind of a prick. But I love he's
Go to
on our
work then
team.
if you want to get paid.
Also, they reported all Sunday morning that LaCava and McElroy worked it out in the morning, and then they interviewed Rory at the end of the day, and Rory said they didn't talk at all. So they just lied to us. So that must be
A lot of bad
testing.
reporting. Yeah.
And Rory also
Um,
looks like a 6-year-old girl celebrating, and it made me angry.
Did you see the report that most of the U.S. took 5 weeks off to prepare for the Ryder Cup?
Yes.
They did.
And you're
9 to 12 didn't play 5 weeks. It's insane. What are your thoughts?
I
Evan?
think not playing competitive golf for that long is probably not a good
Nope.
idea.
I would agree. This is a realization I had that I think we can tie into our Michigan teams. Based on what I've understood about the Ryder Cup, how Europe's won the bulk of them in the last like 10 of them. I know it mainly goes every other, but Europe has done better. They've won a few in America where we just can't win over there. It's kind of like Michigan State, Michigan during the D'Antonio years, where Europe just cares more and they buy into the hype and the hype videos and the motivation, and the United States just treats it as like, oh, we're better, we'll figure it out. And so now I'm understanding your guys' perspective of the rivalry and whatnot, and being like, damn, like I kind of wish I was a fan of Team Europe. They just care way more about this event than our people do.
Which I don't think that's totally fair because I think the guys do care quite a bit.
I think they
I mean,
do.
Scotty Scheffler cried.
Scotty Scheffler cried. He cares.
I think there's some guys on the team that probably don't care as much. Like Brooks Koepka looks like he doesn't give a shit ever. And I like Brooks, good guy, but like he doesn't.
Well, he
seem
can only
like
play
cared
singles.
at
He's a
all.
me guy.
Like
That's why him and Scotty
he's
did
so
bad. He can't
bad
play
in
with a
team
partner.
events. Zach Johnson, someone needs to figure out how do you get appointed to be a captain? How does that happen?
Look it up.
Old boys club.
Should have been Phil
Should know
Mickelson.
somebody.
Should have been Phil.
Oh, God.
It would have been Team Live, and then they would have
Bryson would
sucked
have
even
been on
more.
it. And DJ.
Or Matt Kuchar. Where's he at?
Yeah, those two,
And
and
Patty
then
Reed.
Keegan Bradley would have been on it.
DJ had to be on the team. DJ was insane that he wasn't on our team. I will not get over that till the next one.
there were definitely just some questionable choices. Also, I'm a
You
Jordan
basically
Spieth
just
guy, and there's no reason Jordan should be playing. I mean, he had to make the team. He was like the next closest
But
of
his
the
driver
auto.
back.
But like, I wouldn't have played him on Saturday after what he did Friday. But Zach Johnson, whatever.
yeah, that point's like I don't know. It was just a weird year too, where like a couple people qualified for it that typically wouldn't want to see out there. No offense to them,
Dude, I can't stand
so there's
Wyndham
nothing
Clark.
you can do.
I can't stand him. He chirped
fact, too,
Europe
then with
all week leading up to it, acting like he said multiple like clickbait comments like that they can just use, and he did everything that is wrong with like why like the rest of the
Michigan.
world doesn't like America. He like epitomizes
Michigan versus
that.
MSU.
I can't stand him.
Yeah,
I can't stand Wyndham Clark. He is such a prick.
Alex, here you go. Here's the answer.
the craziest thing too, and then you think about those guys like Harmon, Burns, and Clark, like just not playing 5 weeks before. Like, who was Brian Harmon not to play 5 weeks before? I'm not sure if he was one of the guys that didn't, but like, why wouldn't those guys play? What are you gonna say, Evan?
The PGA of America, okay, has a 21-person selection committee to determine the United States Ryder Cup captain.
So tell me 21 people.
In recent years, a small task force of U.S. players have joined high-ranking members of the PGA of America to determine the United States captain.
Task force.
This is stupid.
I mean, if I'm thinking out loud, who would have been like who are the other options?
Where's Matt Kuchar?
Oh,
Matt Kuchar wouldn't
Matt
have any
Kuchar's a
caddies on the
prick.
course.
no. Well, I just don't understand why. Like, was Stricker? Did he have to be voted out?
I don't think you can do
that. You
that
can.
Won 19-9.
He did the last one.
I think Luke Donald's going to do it again for them. He did so
I was
well. They're just
guessing
going to
you
run
can't.
him back.
Oh, yeah. Potential.
I was guessing you couldn't do that.
Tiger's going to be,
That's
his
why.
name's going to be thrown out there
No,
every single weekend.
I think how they normally do it.
Well, Tiger should be captain because he cares about winning.
I think
He'd be a
Phil
good
should have been
captain.
the captain.
He's not a good player,
Actually, do.
but he'd be a good captain.
2025?
Tiger would be a good captain, and he was a good player.
Phil would be a good captain because he would bet on USA to win and be his whole entire life savings, so he'd make sure it happened.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't feel
That'd be
great
sick.
with Phil. as
Tiger-
Tiger
captain.
Woods is running. Is it doing
No,
it?
he's-
Justin Rose.
That's a good captain for them.
Hmm.
That guy was a
That
pain in
dude
our
just makes
ass
so
all
many
weekend.
putts.
He knows how to ball.
I'm like, I can't believe it.
Give it to Martin Keimer.
I like
he,
Justin Rose,
he has a
too.
feel for the moment.
Martin Keimer, former world number one.
Let's get into NFL recaps. I got to start Detroit Green Bay off with one question for Connor. I want to see if he'll get out in front of it. Connor, are you ready to be the first Packers fan? This is a big moment for you. You can be the first one that I've seen concede the division to the Lions. Are you ready to just call it good after what you saw and be like, you know what? It's their year. Be that guy.
Yes, the Lions are going to win the division because you have an incompetent running the organization. I mean, Matt LaFleur is a joke keeping Joe Barry. Joe Barry is the most incompetent coordinator in the NFL. 10 yards off. Oh, it's 3rd and 3. Let's
Matt
put 10
Canada.
yards off. Amon Ray, easy little slant. I mean, this team is built from the ground up with just clown show after clown show. The last 13 years, we have an incompetent defensive coordinator with great defensive pieces. We're useless. Matt LaFleur can't inspire anybody. Lions won the division. Congrats.
Thanks.
Thank you.
But is
Matt
it because
Canada
we're
versus
good,
Joe
or
Barry.
is it because you're bad? I'm not sure if you gave us any credit there.
Lions are a very good football team. I think Packers can still make the playoffs because I still believe in them because the schedule is easy enough. But the Lions are a much better all-around team. They're going to win the division easily, yeah.
Hell yeah, Connor. That's huge. That's big of you. First Packers fan I've seen concede it. I have another question for you. Not to revel in your misery.
Okay.
But if we're power ranking devastating losses, don't worry, I have a question for Evan and Alex later. I guess it applies to you too. But for this specific situation, was this loss worse, or was last year's Aaron Rodgers don't make the playoffs loss worse?
Last year's loss was a lot worse. I think going
Okay.
into this game, I thought we could win, but I expected to lose because Lions are just better. But, I mean, last year, I think the entire organization actually should have been fired because you can't lose a home game to possibly make the postseason against the Lions, who you ridiculed year after year. That's on Rodgers, that's on LaFleur, but last year was a lot more. This year, the first half I wasn't last year I was sad. This year I was just like, what the heck? I was just pissed off. Last year was a lot worse, though.
I have a question for you.
I figured it would be. I was just curious if the blowout nature, the first half, the blowout nature was Evan. Keep him coming.
Yeah.
Pipe down, Grant. Pipe down.
Is Aaron Jones good at football? Yeah.
Are you asking me? Yes, he's good. Okay, here we go again. I think Matt LaFleur didn't see there was an inactive list because Aaron Jones was playing, and he was there for the first 2 drives. Didn't get a run. Oh, let's not run the ball with our best playmaker, okay? But, what we're going to do instead, play action pass, but not run the ball. You stupid idiot, Matt LaFleur. Oh. This team is a joke.
LaFleur too pretty to coach in the NFL?
Yes,
too pretty.
Is. I want Eric Bieniemy. I want LaFleur gone.
You saying Eric Bieniemy's ugly?
What? I know he's a good-looking guy. I just want him as my coach.
I don't know why it shouldn't have been funny. That was funny, Alex. Spit out my Oberon. Do I have any more questions for that? I don't. I think it just really was one of those satisfying football games where you just realized your team was just grown men dominating the trenches. Now, some of it was Joe Barry incompetently lining up on the goal line, leaving the C gap wide open. But there were so many goal line runs by the Lions that were just untouched, which you just don't see in the NFL. I simply was like, I don't know how David Montgomery didn't get touched on the 2-yard line, but somehow we're in the end zone standing up. It was just bully ball. I just think, I know we talk about it, but I think every week, instead of the skill guys, you just got to talk about the offensive line every single week because they are just the driving force of this football team. And I'll give the Eagles number 1 still, but the Lions are number 2 in the NFL. Someone's got to really show me hard evidence on paper and on film of an offensive line that's better than the Lions outside the Eagles because they just dominate people, even when they're injured. With Glasgow comes in, just bullies people. It's awesome to watch.
I don't think people think there's offensive lines better than ours. Am I missing something?
Huh?
People always praise us for their offensive line.
I think locally we do, but I think nationally we're always top 5, top 6, top 7, but we're top 2. I am firmly top 2. And we're number
top 2, not 2.
We're 2. I'll get the Eagles.
Eagles are pretty good.
Super Bowl. We're 2. The clock. That's going to be changed next year. I can't believe they can't review that. I guarantee that will be a Lions
just for the Lions
input next year. Because how do you just
something
not
that's
check?
happened for years upon years on.
It makes no sense not to be able to just look at it. I mean,
It
happens all the
very
time.
often with delay of games and stuff. They let it just run down, but that was shocking. But I mean, you're not going to be. You can't. I don't know. I think you should be able to review it. Once it's 0, the play should just be dead. You shouldn't just wait for that extra half second.
The confusing thing, Connor. Sorry, not to cut you off, but the play clock. They brought that up. Terry McCauley did. He said, which also the NFL just overthinks itself. He said the play clock, you do have to wait a half a second because they count the tenths of a second. But with the game clock, they don't. They said game clock, the minute it hits 0, there is no half a second. It's just when it's 0 and the ball's not snapped, it's done. So that seems pretty cut and dry to be able to review that. And you think about NBA, that's 90% of the reviews in the NBA is did he get it off? I don't understand how the NFL, which is a much bigger league, biggest league in the world, in America, that you just don't have that in place yet. It'd be so easy just to review. So if they don't fix it, they're just ignorant at this point. Any other takeaways from the game? I know it was on Thursday night. It was a long time ago.
Yes. I have one.
Give it to me.
Go ahead, Alex.
I'd like the Lions to be better at keeping their foot on the gas. The second half was not great.
Bad third quarter.
It was disappointing.
Yeah, third quarter.
It seems like in games we get up, we struggle to keep the energy going. And Dan Campbell even said, coming out of half, he was worried that we would struggle to come out that way again. And then we did struggle to. So I just would like the boys to be a little more dialed in for 4 quarters. Because in the playoffs, that is going to matter.
Do you think that's more of a NFL as a whole situation,
It is,
or like
because
line
that does
specific?
happen in the NFL far too often. You see comebacks like every single week. And I get the NFL's hard, and usually the other team figures you out after a half. So there's probably a lot of adjustments going on. But it's still, I mean, Jordan Love. Sorry, Connor, but
No, I'm not going to. Jordan Love he was set up for failure. I mean, when you have your 2 best linemen out, you have 2 other linemen hurt. I mean, you guys got so much quick pressure in there. Our starting middle linebacker was out. Our starting corner was out. And everyone just like,
fine.
No, you guys are a better team. I'm not saying any of that. But I don't think it's Jordan Love's fault that it's not. I think he's the least of the worries for that loss. I think it was just we were just screwed. And then we forget that Aaron Jones is a player. So that's one problem.
Mm-hmm.
I think what I was going to say, Connor, was that you should not write off Jordan Love because of this game. So I actually think Jordan Love's all right. But I was also going to say that I think the Lions' offense in the second half, with all those injuries that you just mentioned, was not good, and it needs to be better. They had so many opportunities to have a drive late in that game to like really seal the deal in like the 3rd and 4th quarter, and we just would go 3 and out. We went 3 and out like 3 times. That cannot happen in a bigger game.
You're also lucky that we decided to call a shovel option on the 2-point, because if we get that 2-point, it's such a different game. Just 8 points to 10 points is, I think, a huge difference with just 14 minutes to go. But credit to Alex Anzalone and the Lions defense.
Packers also came back fast. Like, the game was over at halftime, and then the 4th quarter started, and it was a game again. 1 quarter.
Yeah. But then, Quay Walker just wants to jump over the center, which I think is a stupid rule to begin with. I just think that's a dumb
Quay Walker's just dumb. Because he knew what the rule was.
Because he made contact with the long snapper.
If you're athletic, do it.
I understand that. I agree with you.
Nipped him. Come on.
No, it's a bad rule.
I just think it's a silly rule.
It's because of player safety, but if you're willing to jump over the line, like, I don't see why. You're only risking yourself.
I think.
They're trying to protect the defensive player or the center.
But I don't see what the difference is. Like, you're on defense, you can jump over the offensive line to try to make a tackle. But they're trying to, like, you can jump, like, if you're a running back, you can jump over the offensive line to get in the end zone.
I know.
Do you guys have any negatives? I want to hear some bad stuff so we don't pump their tires too much.
I mean, if you do what Goff did against the 49ers, they're going to punch in with McCaffrey and it'll be down 7-0 in a playoff game, which is going to suck. So that was lucky that we started off so poorly. Shout out to Hutchinson for getting a sack right away. Just manhandled.
The Lions need to know the wide receiver.
I was going to say, I like Josh Reynolds.
I'm not saying Josh Reynolds,
underrated player, but after him, there's no one else. There's nobody else.
Another wide receiver.
Yeah, bad.
Like, Josh Reynolds shouldn't be a number 2 receiver. He should be a
Marvin
number 3.
Jones is not a NFL player.
It's a good thing you guys have a receiver coming back.
That we are not going to use because we don't use
our coach is worried if he'll line up
pick.
correctly. Yeah, we should probably use Gibbs. I am disappointed that we're supposed to be using him as a wideout type of player.
We use him as a running. Like,
ever do that? We don't manufacture touches for him other than that one slot out. He's not a tackle.
He's not a run the ball between the tackles type of guy in the NFL. You can get away with that at Alabama. Trust me, because he's faster than everybody.
He can do it, but that's not
correct.
We have not agreed with that. We don't need him to do that.
I think we just have to get a little bit more creative.
It's disappointing.
With that little
like next
week, early.
We're not going to have to get creative. We shouldn't have to.
No, should kill them.
So
I would just like to see Gibbs in the slot more and
that toss crackback pitch play that Miami does with A-Chain. I think we should do with Gibbs like twice a game just to see what happens. And I'm going to set the bar at we should be throwing him one.
Yes, if it's man, dude, you got to be able to get
the one he
dropped
an earlier week that he was wide open on.
Scheme it up.
You could easily get him
Once
on
a game.
linebacker all the
Gotta have
time.
that
And we
route.
never do anything with that.
McCaffrey just scored on it. You just got to run that route at least once a game. One target at least on that play. And maybe a wheel route for fun. We used to do those with Swift all the time and he dropped them. Why can't Gibbs do a wheel route? I don't know. Seems like if he's a good catcher, do it. So there's definitely room there. Defensively, defense was pretty clean, I would say. I mean, they played a great game. Who would have thought we'd be praising the defense after the Seattle game, but they really stepped up in 2 games back to back. And not great offenses,
they're always
don't
good at
get me
stopping the
wrong,
run.
but yeah, no, the big test will be exercising the demons of Carolina, which we should do, but we are just stuffing the run in people's faces.
So much worse this year. They can't block anybody.
Like that much worse, though?
We might have 12 sacks. Bryce Young is also
All right,
4'6". They have a
Andy
better
Dalton
They're
chance.
trying to run
starts
every
the
play,
game.
though.
They have a better chance with Andy Dalton.
Yeah.
Agreed. All right.
Or Bryce.
We'll touch on any JMO stuff on the preview real quick when we get to the preview. For now, we'll go in chronological order pretty quickly. Michigan at Nebraska was just a blowout from start to finish.
Pass.
Great catch by Roman Wilson. One of the better catches I've seen in my days of watching
That's
Michigan.
the only drive I watched of that game.
Kenneth Grant, 300-pound guy catching a ball in the air. You love to see the soft hands from him. I don't know. Like, what do you say when you beat someone 45-7? It's like 28.
It's time for
Because he
Michigan
was
to
a
play
little
someone good.
A little better.
I'm
and so,
really
like,
looking
it
forward
was,
to that.
Flip through the channels. And every time it came back, Michigan had the ball and they were driving. Oh, flip back. Okay. Scores change. Michigan has the ball. They're driving. It's like, holy. What happened to Jeff Sims?
It was a terrible. Yeah, he's that bad. Or he's injured.
Yeah,
I
like
don't
two
know.
A's
They're
were
playing a guy
too
named,
easy
like,
at the beginning of his
Haber.
name.
Yeah, some kid that was a tight end.
He looked like
Started the season
the way
as
that
tight
he
end.
ran.
That is their quarterback.
Gotta find that clip of Alex saying
I just
in the
don't get.
offseason,
I get like
watch out for that
creating your
game.
philosophy and like running your program. I do get that.
Nebraska's worse than I mean, Matt Rule's like really dying on this.
Do you
hill,
get
and it's
that?
just
But
blowing
like,
my
when your
mind.
entire roster, and I mean your entire roster, is built off of the spread component, and then you try to run a power
You
team,
try to be Notre Dame.
and then you're facing the number 1 power team in the country.
ridiculous.
Like, yeah, we're gonna outman this team. It's like they see it every day in practice, buddy. You're not gonna do this. It's just mind blowing. It is mind blowing how stupid coaches are.
They're committed to the bit.
If Adrian Martinez was
That's
Wait,
all
are
I've
we giving us
learned this
number 1
weekend.
power over Georgia?
Georgia's not as power happy as you guys. They have the best player in college football on their team,
Okay.
Brock Powers.
Brock
He
Powers.
Brock
had
Powers.
2 one-handed
He's
catches back to
pretty
back.
fucking good.
Well, Caleb
His
Williams,
second
but
one
I guess
was
your
a
point.
plus.
Was sick.
Number 2.
Was
Yeah, he's good. He's really
The
good.
best non-quarterback in the country.
I don't think we need to talk
Don't
much
feel
more
bad,
about
though.
this shit game.
Alex, that your future head coach thought Nebraska was poised for the upset. One of the all-time big noon kickoff predictions of all time. That was a great viral clip that went around after the game.
Urban is going to do really well here, and I'm excited for him.
Hey, just get him off from making predictions because he stinks. At
He's
them. Like, I think
he's
I don't
Nebraska's
think he's
trying
ever
to
been
get
fired
fired.
once. That's why.
He's never going to. It's
so
a bit.
funny.
He's committed to the bit.
Brady Quinn like raises his eyebrows. He's like, I don't know about that, Urban. I think Michigan's just gonna dog walk them today based on their matchup, and then it's so funny.
You're going to be so
That's pretty
scared
much
when
it.
he's the head coach in East Lansing. It's going to be great.
MSU. I can't wait to see him at Harper's.
Be awesome.
I'm gonna-
He might
be
be the
great.
best wingman.
You
never know.
MSU
Just win football games.
MSU at Iowa primetime.
Pass. I watched it. Just so
Couple,
everyone knows. I went back.
I got some couple
So
takeaways
stupid,
before
right?
I ask you guys the question that I have. One, I just can't get over that Noah Kim wears a grill mouth guard. We can't let him get away with that. It's bananas that someone that bad at throwing a football wears that. And 2, NBC fixed the red line. Did you guys notice that? They listened to the show.
Colorblind. Never
There was
noticed
not a
it.
red
line
line.
of scrimmage.
The line of scrimmage was red last week.
What is it now?
Which is a no-no. Black.
Yeah,
I
can tell
sorry,
the
Grant. I
difference.
didn't notice it good
Good
enough.
for me.
Good for you. I'm starting to think if it's like a team color thing. Like, did they do red for Ohio State and they do black for Iowa? They didn't do green for you guys, so I don't know what they
do.
Did
just
for,
the home team's color.
I'd have to watch it.
Oh
back.
no, Ohio State was
I
on the
know
road.
that was the home team.
Yeah, doesn't work.
Yeah.
Silly
So
Gilly.
we don't know what's happening. I'm gonna go with they listened and they changed it. It should be blue. It should just be the standard line of scrimmage blue that we've all grown up with. Simple as that. Super simple.
I mean, Mike Tirico listens.
Don't reinvent the wheel.
Mike Tirico loves to listen.
Like Tarico's a bad person.
Fun fact, Tirico, I looked up because I always say that comment.
He's a pervert.
When Marissa's around. I looked up the stories about him. Even crazier than I remember.
Pervert.
He's a pervert.
Way
Fuck
worse
you, Mike
than Urban
Tirico.
Meyer.
And he's actually a Michigan man.
Good guy.
Half Michigan
Probably
man.
equal.
Lives in Ann Arbor.
No, Grant. Tarico's worse.
Grew up in the state. No.
Went to Syracuse.
Urban had one horny
I
moment.
know of.
Question.
Tirico
No, but I'm
found someone
talking
all
No,
overall
we're talking
his
about
car.
Urban Meyer
I mean-
having a horny moment, and look what our coach did.
Yes, that crazy.
Urban Myers looks sane.
Oh, well.
Oh,
Yeah, Mel's hornier.
But yeah, but Urban's more a scumbag. If we're doing scumbag,
Urban's
power
like more
rankings,
of like
Urban is more versatile.
a dictator douche. But
Covers
Mel's
up
hornier,
crimes.
for sure.
I mean, Domestic abuse
not
on
true,
his
Grant.
staff?
He just
That's
lied to the
tough.
media about it, but he didn't lie. He didn't lie in reporting. He lied to the media. He did not lie in his reporting.
no, he did not. He did not report to Title IX. I read the article today because I needed my facts correct.
He didn't get charged. Didn't get in trouble.
Got
Didn't
it.
get fired.
Got it. He got suspended for 3 games. He definitely got in trouble for it, and he had to do it. Sit down with Tom
Jim
Renard.
Harbaugh just got suspended for 3
Who's
games.
the bigger crook? Who's the bigger crook?
Agreed, but not for. Jim Harbaugh has his own demons, but it wasn't for covering up
It's
sexual.
hilarious
or,
to watch you get
physical
so
assault.
worked up about Urban Meyer.
Jim Harbaugh employed
That's
a
why I
sex
need it.
offender.
I just really
Even
don't
if
like
we
him.
don't win games, it would be so funny to watch you squirm about Urban Meyer every week. It'd be hilarious. I need it.
I wouldn't squirm every week.
Yes,
I
you
don't
would.
care
You
what they
hate
do
him
week in,
that
week out.
much. We have argued about Urban Meyer
No.
in our lifetime multiple times.
Only because it seems like you always try to defend him, and I just don't get why you try to defend him.
Well, you act like he should be in prison, and I think that's extreme.
I don't think he should be in prison. I just think he's a really tier 1 scumbag.
You might
as a
not think
football
that.
coach.
You act like it, though. You act like he murdered multiple people.
I've never said that. I just say he's an all-time scumbag, which
Yeah.
is
I
inarguable.
never said you said that.
You try to argue it, and I don't know
You
why.
act like it. You get so worked up about it. You do because you don't like him, and that's okay. Just say that.
Correct. And most people should hate him unless he coached for your team.
I can't hate a guy I've never met. It's not how I work.
My dying question for you guys. Yeah, that's agreed, Connor. That was aggressive. You can definitely hate people you've never met. Kim Jong, you don't hate Hitler.
Nah.
You never met Hitler.
I hate Larry Nasser. You're right.
Oh, thank you. Good example.
Good.
Good. Is this rock bottom compared to these other instances? The Illinois loss with Antonio and the Indiana loss last year. If you had to power rank the rock bottoms, where would this fall?
Indiana lost last year.
Indiana last year is rock
Indiana's
bottom.
worse.
That was rock bottom.
All right. Indiana last year.
We didn't expect to beat Iowa.
We were
That's the
12,
silver
13
lining in
point
all this. We were
underdogs.
never supposed to win that game.
Covered on the road.
You kind of did, Alex, though. You kind of did.
No, I
Alex.
said last week that we would not score.
How pathetic
so-
we are. I was right with our field goal prediction.
And I was, Grant,
But you had said
for the record, I was right. That is a team that we could have upset and should have because they're built the way that we can win. We just have
because the
really bad
quarterback
coaching.
tore his ACL on the first or second drive.
I don't think that would have made that big of a
Yeah.
difference.
That's why.
I mean, I don't think Cade's that much better, to be honest. That team wasn't scoring points with him.
McNamara must have beaten Michigan State before, right?
No, but I think doesn't help your argument because he shredded them passing.
But
No,
if Michigan had a better offense coordinator and better talent.
I think they would have found their groove more on offense.
They might have scored on an
Certainly better
additional
offense
7
coordinator.
that just would have taken away from the punt.
Kids Hospital put
Eric
up a fire
Allman.
Brian
Just
sign,
Jay
which I couldn't
Johnson's
believe.
terrible at his job.
Eric All did have an
How
insane
many total
drive.
yards we had in the second half?
Agreed. It really is.
Has
There's no
scored
defending him at this
We
point.
should say how many total yards we had in the
Who?
second half.
Jay Johnson.
No one's defending Jay. No one has been defending Jay
We had
Johnson.
80.
I
33.
feel like you try to sometimes.
I-
I've been telling you this for 2 years. This is year 2 of it.
Yeah,
And now everybody's on board.
he's bad.
No,
No,
the-
yes,
the-
we know he's bad. No,
No, they
everyone
didn't.
talked about it last year too. Yes, they
Evan
did.
was first. Evan was first.
You might have been
though.
first.
Evan was first.
You might have been like game 1 of last year, but
It's just
everyone else
how
picked up
stupid
pretty
we
quickly
are.
after
Just
that.
incompetent coaches on that staff.
it doesn't help though. Not defending Jay Johnson any means that Noah Kim is horrendous.
Okay, but the play calling is
Horrendous.
directly in his hands.
horrendous.
That's also his fault, though.
They're also putting the offensive staff.
Yeah,
They're putting
it
the
is.
offense
He's
in the
playing-
worst
It's also Jay's
position
fault.
by the plays that you call.
I mean, watching Noah Kim throw off his back foot 6 yards over everyone's head every 4 plays is pretty not good.
Once again,
He's terrible. He's really,
Once again.
really, really, really bad.
no, Jay Johnson's not
Sure,
a
he's
great
a
guy.
great guy.
He's a
Don't want to
scumbag.
take away from his character. Just not the
Oh.
right guy to put.
We're talking about Noah Kim.
No,
He's a
Kim.
very nice guy.
No,
Let me
Kim.
up in the elevator before
I'm
I
sure
say so
Jay
I'll never
Johnson
forget.
in life. Jay Johnson in real life, Evan.
No,
is
Jay
probably
Johnson
not a
is.
scumbag
No, he
just
is.
because he's bad at calling
That rat
plays.
face,
This
rat
is.
face,
I
you
have to
can't
No, I
defend
don't think
his.
he is.
the way that he tucks his shirts into his pants,
Evan.
the way that
He was born that
tucks
way.
his shirt into his pants every single time.
You can't get this
Mark
emotional
Antonio
about
tucks it in.
his personal life.
But if Jay
Honestly,
Johnson
yes,
wants to
because
come
I'm
on
going
this
to absolutely
podcast, what are
rip
you
into
gonna
him
say,
until
Evan?
he gets off, and it'd be the best clip of all time.
You wouldn't.
Yes,
No, you wouldn't.
You
I will
wouldn't do
hide
that.
behind the
You
screen,
know
wouldn't
way.
do
You would
that.
rip into him. No way.
blast into him, blast.
No, you
into him.
wouldn't. We know you wouldn't.
Yes, I would.
You wouldn't say anything. No, we know it. None
Yes,
of us
I
are
would.
dummies. You wouldn't do that.
Alex,
That'd be a
okay.
huge interview
Question.
for Evan. I'd
Question
be so
for
nervous in the waiting
Connor.
room.
Well, I don't know if Grant even answered. Okay, who?
I'd rather have Frank Garza as my OC.
Shout out, Connor. Who was better or / who was worse? Jay Johnson or Dave Warner?
Connor wasn't a Michigan State fan yet.
Dave Warner. Actually, no.
it's Pete
wait,
Carmichael.
who's the Saints OC? Pete Carmichael, I think, should go to Michigan State and get this team back on track. Pete Carmichael and Joe Barry could lead this team to victory.
Alex, who's better, Dave Warner or Jay Johnson?
Wouldn't be much worse.
It's tough because Dave Warner had Connor Cook, and so Connor Cook just made him good. Jay Johnson had 1 year of Kenneth Walker, which has made Jay Johnson good. Turns out they both are really, really, really. I mean, Evan, if we go back to the 2017 season and if you go back and watch that offense, I'm pretty
don't think
sure
it
it
was.
was worse. It was so bad.
What year?
It was so bad. We ran jet sweep
We tried to run the
times a
same
game.
counterplay. We tried to run the same counterplay. Jay Johnson's so
Let me
smart.
see.
He's like, we're just
Let me
going to
see
run
if
it
I
to
can
the other
find
side.
something.
That's how good Jay Johnson is.
I think it was
the
2018.
very first
What do
play
you
of the
think he
game.
writes on that?
That was
2018.
the very
Evan.
first
What do
play.
you think he writes on that sheet?
Listen to these
It's about to be
scores
this year.
of 2018. Remember, this defense was elite. They beat Utah State 38-31, doesn't matter. Arizona State, they lost 16-13. Central Michigan, they won 31-20, doesn't count. Northwestern, 29-19. Penn
Yeah,
State,
at Penn State.
they won
Yep.
21-17.
7.
Michigan,
Scored on
21-7.
Philly special.
Purdue, 21. Ohio State, 6. Michigan, Maryland, 24.
At least Dave Warner beat
Nebraska,
Maryland.
6.
At least-
we lost 9-6.
At least Dave Warner beat Maryland.
9-6. Rutgers, late touchdown, 14-10 win. Bowl game, lost 7-6. The defense was number 3 in the country, and we won 6 games. We never scored over 24
Alex,
other
we're
than
not going
against
to this year.
non-power
Alex, we're
5
not
teams.
going
I mean-
to this year.
It definitely hurts more because the defense is worse this year, but you're on track for that this year. It's going to be close.
They lost 2 games where the other team didn't
Alex,
score a
we have
touchdown.
one touchdown in Big Ten games.
All right, Alex. So through games that mattered, this is your numbers right now.
Oh, I know this
7-9.
year's even worse.
9, 7, 9, 9. You haven't scored double digits as an offense in games that matter.
Yeah, and the other team
They
did
had a
twice.
score.
It's pathetic.
So, but they
Alex,
had that team had Brian Lewerke at quarterback, who I would
The
argue
7
is
points
much
that we
better than
scored
Noah
against Washington was Keaton Hauser in the fourth quarter when it did not matter.
I'm just saying there was more talent on that offense, so it was more of Dave Warner butchering that team. That LJ Scott is the running back.
0-9-9.
Can we talk about one of the worst
0.
play calls of all time? Is Harlan Barnett should not
really
get an
good.
interview to become the head coach just because of his 4th and 1 call.
He's not getting an interview to be
It's
head coach.
crazy. It was crazy bad.
Alan Haller announced today that they're starting the search for
We
the coach. That
gave
basically
them
means that
3 points right
Harlan
there.
Barnett is not.
You know what they did on that drive? 3 plays, -5 yards, 3 points. It is just...
Defense played well.
Also, not to mention, okay, we're in there. We did miss a field goal. Bounced off the freaking upright 50 yards. It is 3rd and 9.
Well, we did make a 58
No, but you need those
so
points from
kind
this
of like
shit offense.
makes up for it.
Okay, we throw the ball.
You can't rely on your kicker to make multiple.
Alex, no,
a
my
college
point
kicker not
is-
named Jake Moody to make
This is my
multiple
point.
50-plus yards.
This is my point. If it'll load, just give me a second.
I mean, they stink. I mean, I don't know
Just
what
how
we're
stupid
talking
our
about.
staff is. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, they're not
It's a
going to
safe
be our
space, let it
coaches,
all
so
out.
I'm not going to get upset about it. It's sucks, but like they're going to be all gone. So like, it doesn't really matter. Like this season's over,
What's crazy?
so it doesn't matter.
What's crazy is that Indiana is a more serious football program than you guys are right now, which is stunning to say on October 2nd.
They're more serious because they have won 2 games.
Maybe.
Like they
let's not
fired
get
their
crazy,
OC.
Brad.
They don't accept mediocrity.
Yes, we
No, they
can.
fired
We
their OC,
can't
and you guys
fire
refuse to do
him.
it. It's insane.
We don't have a
Yes,
head
you can.
coach.
Yes,
no
you
one
can.
can fire him. Who?
Yes,
So we're
you
gonna have
do.
like
Yeah.
8
Head
coaches on the sideline.
Harlan Barnett can fire him.
You're a
And we're just going to keep promoting grad assistants to be sideline coaches for the rest of the year.
one of our grad assistants
Yeah,
is
give him a shot.
Antoine Simmons, so I think he's
Don't
more than
accept
capable
mediocrity.
of. No, I'm not saying
Of
calling,
calling the
of
offense.
being able to put on a headset.
Pioneer. Shout out.
I mean, sure, you could fire him. You guys act like it's going to get so much better. It's probably
It
going to
can't
get
get
fucking
worse.
way worse.
No, but it's cathartic.
I don't think it would.
It would get worse
I don't think it
before
would.
it got better.
It's good for the fan base. It's good for the fan base.
It.
can't
They're
really get
all
worse.
getting
Can't get
fired
worse.
though. So like, I don't know what you want.
Guess what? Get
Like
rid
they're
of it.
gone. Everyone's
Rip
gone.
off the
They're
Band-Aid
all
and do
gone.
it now. No,
Get rid of
Jay
every
Johnson
coach right now,
Jay
and
Johnson is
then
the
have
one that I
no
want fired
coaches.
off this team. The one person that is single-handedly putting this team 5 years back. What offensive guy wants to return with that dumpster fire of a play caller?
I mean, he's not going to be there, so it doesn't matter. He recruited all our quarterbacks.
Tyler Hunt.
We're gonna have to get Northern Illinois
He recruited Hauser and Levitt.
Malik Carr. He
broke his foot.
Carr got a lot of targets.
Malik Carr is
Until he got
injured.
hurt.
Grant. And
Trey
Trey
Moses
Moses
broke
done
one
for
of
the
his
That was
season.
where I watched the
So-
game. I watched the game and he got a lot of targets. Malik Carr would like to come back in that offense because it was all him.
He was only playing in the first quarter. Probably had 3
And
targets.
he got a million catches. A million catches.
He
in
had
the
2
first
catches
quarter.
on the first drive. I watched
Jay
the first
Johnson.
drive of the game. You can hate him. I just like there
right.
is no current solution
is.
right this second. You're just gonna have to tough it out. Don't watch.
Hire
You can
Jack
bring in
Harbaugh, for
assistants.
God's sake, dude. You win mini games, just
In the
hire
middle of the
Jack
year?
Harbaugh.
It just doesn't
No,
make
bring in
sense
Drew
to
Sand
do
and help
that.
the quarterbacks develop.
Drew Sand is not
Yes, he
doesn't
does.
want to just come in. Like, do you think
Yeah,
these
talk to
people
him.
want to just come in right now and coach with a
talk
dumpster
to
fire
him.
team for the
What
half
if-
the season? No.
Bring in Javon
Just
Ringer.
stop being
to help the
realistic.
running backs.
Cousins, quarterback's coach.
Javon
No,
Ringer's
he's
already
not.
there.
What's his position then?
Yes, he is.
Kenneth Walker
In his
offensive
football
coordinator.
operations role.
To get him
Yes,
on,
he
he could
is.
be on the sideline once we fire our entire staff.
Sure.
All right, the odds of a bowl game / my bet hitting. Where are they at after this loss?
You have 3 guaranteed more losses.
Yeah,
So, with that being
7
said,
more guaranteed losses.
you have 3. Like you have 0% chance of winning. So you have to beat
I think
Rutgers,
you have
Indiana,
2 games you can
Nebraska, and Minnesota.
and
Rutgers,
and
Indiana, Nebraska, Minnesota. You win those 4, you make a bowl game.
Rutgers
would not beat Iowa.
Rutgers is actually a good squad. Rutgers
I'll be
would
stunned if
definitely
you
beat
beat
Iowa.
Rutgers. I'll be stunned.
We have no shot against them. Minnesota's garbage.
Could beat
Indiana's
them.
garbage.
But you have to beat
We're garbage.
I don't think you
Rutgers
can
to
beat
make a bowl
Minnesota.
Maybe
game.
Nebraska at home, if anyone even shows up to the game.
Nebraska and Indiana are the only 2 chances.
Nah, I
they
think
have
you
of
could
wins
beat
left
Minnesota
on
because
my
their quarterback
eyes.
is just as bad as Iowa's backup. And if you had competent coaching for one game, you could win that game. I don't think we'll get it. I think we'll win one more game. We'll beat Indiana after Grant said that they're a better program than us, which is ridiculous. But
Can we beat
No,
Rutgers?
they're
off
more
of-
serious.
they're not more
2 weeks
serious.
of
We
prep?
fired our head coach. We're firing all our coaches.
Maybe we can beat Mel Tucker in the court litigation. So
That's a win
that could
this
be another
weekend.
one.
Count that.
When
for
we
the
pay
bowl
Urban
games.
Meyer $12 million a year, Grant, we'll be a very serious football program.
That would be a serious move. That would be a serious move.
Brian Harline.
No,
Can I
Evan,
ask
you
a
want
question?
more
He's not-
mediocrity.
he's-
about. Wait,
He's born to
Called
win.
plays for 4 games.
Who gives a shit
He's
about
never
that?
been a head coach.
No.
A lot of people.
It will change. Change.
guys.
We've always done it this way. We've always hired a head coach.
Ben Johnson.
No, we haven't.
Yes, we have.
So you wouldn't take Ben Johnson?
Never been a head
Yeah, I
coach.
would take Ben Johnson. He's the best OC in the NFL. He's called plays for now. It'll be 2 seasons.
He's never
In the
been a head coach.
NFL.
I think George
The
Portis was
NFL.
the last non-head coach that we
Anywhere.
hired.
Never been anywhere.
We haven't had that many coaches.
Actually, it was Bobby Williams
Really?
was the last
Oklahoma.
non-head coach
Can
that we
I-
hired.
I need to ask about the Urban Meyer stuff.
Because the players
Yeah, that
voted
went
for him.
horrendously. Because he was really good at recruiting.
Bobby
He was
Williams
awful.
was. General Smith came from
coach.
Louisville because we picked General Smith over Urban Meyer the first time. And we picked our saving grace, Jesus Christ himself.
Yep, we picked Antonio over Brian Kelly.
Brian Kelly wasn't going to lead us to the Rose Bowl.
Fun fact.
So this
Brian Kelly would have left before Mark
Urban
Antonio
Meyer
did.
stuff. I'd like to bring that
I
up.
was just letting you know that Brian Kelly
I'll let you
was
talk.
the finalist with Mark Antonio.
Well, Mark Antonio was better than Brian
Kelly and Mark D'Antonio.
Just letting you know.
10 years later.
I'm glad we got
Fuck's
Antonio.
Brian Kelly won. Exactly.
Nothing. He went to a national
It was a
championship.
fake national championship.
Two.
Manteteo's girlfriend wasn't there.
You would take him now, though, Evan. You'd take him now,
Yes.
I'll take Brian
Yes.
Hartline.
though. Over Brian Kelly.
Yes.
Yes.
Committed to-
I hate Brian Kelly too much. I
You
could
guys
not
are
have him
so
there.
I'm not.
committed to the
I
band.
want
You guys
a
are-
young-
you
I
said
want a
you
young
guys are-
guy. I want a young offensive
you guys
mind.
are unserious.
You are not serious
You're
if you would take
unserious.
Harline over Kelly. You're not.
No, it's not.
That is an unserious
Unserious.
move.
That's Indiana
No.
football. That's insane.
Yes.
Brian Kelly.
You wouldn't take Brian Kelly if he
Wow,
I
wanted
would
to
not
come
because he
here.
would leave.
But Hartline
Yeah,
can leave.
Hartline
He might
could
be using
use
it as a
us to
stepping
go
stone.
be Ohio State's head coach when Ryan Day gets fired when he loses to Michigan again.
He's not getting fired.
Exactly. All right. I actually do want to ask maybe it takes a second, but all I see on my Twitter is Urban Meyer and MSU. Is there any Alex substance on message boards or are people just having fun?
Well, I'm not allowed to talk about the
on a
message boards
scale of,
around Evan.
Because they're fake.
On a scale of 1 to 10, is this oh wow, this is actually happening? Or is this just I heard there was interest and that's it? Because if it's just I heard there was interest, that's fake and people are just running away with it because it's fun.
There are people on these boards that are actual reliable people that are in the know,
I don't think
public
so.
faces.
They call them out. Who are the? Who are they?
actual journalists
Who are
and
they?
people.
It's probably Jim Campanari or whatever the guy's name is with the glasses.
Grant knows
And?
it. Yes. He's
That's
he
Alex's
actually
guy. That's the only guy he trusts.
he actually works and interviews players. Alan Haller. He talked to Alan Haller on Saturday. Blah blah blah. Whatever. He's a legit person with a media credential. He's not a blogger in his basement.
13,000
Not a
followers.
blogger in his basement.
Colby has
13
credential to the media room.
SpartanMag.com.
He's not a college kid either. He's been doing it a long time. Anyways, yes, there is some actual smoke about Urban Meyer. It's not all a bit. That Urban is actually interested. The only thing that is questionable is if Urban's going to see if a better job comes available and if whether he would jump this season or wait and see if something opens next year.
Florida's going to be open in 2
It's a
years.
better job.
Texas A&M could be open
I
this
told you,
year.
Jimbo Fisher.
You think,
There's a lot that
you think
could happen.
A&M's a better spot?
Yeah, they have oil money, Connor, in Texas, and they're in the SEC. So, yeah. And basketball is nothing to them, so it's just
What
football.
Buzz Williams at, dude?
But, yeah, Grant, there is actual
Do you think
smoke on it.
That made me think. Do you think Izzo would sign off on Urban Meyer?
I
Do you think
read
he'd be like, I don't
that-
know about that.
People are wondering if Izzo will try to convince Urban Meyer.
Oh, really?
So, Izzo loves football.
I think they should
I think he
just
does
give
wanna
the
win.
keys to Loopy. Loopy and Tom just leading East Lansing, Michigan every single week. How exciting is that?
It is
Nice.
unknown whether Michigan
Wow.
State has interest in him, though. It's more Urban having interest in us.
Yeah, Brett
Which is
Bielema wanted
kinda
to be our
surprising.
head coach, too. That's like all the coaches saying, like, yeah, I have interest
See,
coaching,
that's-
and everyone's
that's-
like, no, we don't
that's
want you.
where-
Where do we hear Urban wants
That
to
just sounds like we're in a fairy tale world.
Why?
That's
It's the
fairy
best
tale.
open job
There's-
on the market. Urban has a scarred reputation that he wants to fix, and he wants to go back to college. He recruits the Midwest. He would get to play Michigan and Ohio State every year. I don't think it's far-fetched at all.
No,
You're acting like
I'm not
Michigan
saying
State is Maryland.
Well, right now, we're worse than Maryland.
You are so defensive and pea brain. That's not even the point I was going to make. The point I
You're
was
acting
going to
like it's
make
so surprising.
is the report.
It
But
is.
you cut me off. It's surprising that they would frame it like Michigan State. We're not sure if we have interest. If anyone on your guys' board doesn't have
Well,
interest,
you're
they're
the
a
board.
moron and should be fired today.
Yeah, Grant,
But they
breaking
wouldn't have
news. We
interest.
have morons on our board. Breaking news. Yes, we do. Have you seen how they've
That
handled the
just
last
seems like
fucking
the
8 years?
the
Yes, we
reporting is
have
just
boards
like,
full
to
of
be
Johnny
morons.
like, oh, Urban likes us, but we don't know if we want Urban. That just sounds fake. That sounds fake.
After all your text messages you sent yesterday about how the board wouldn't hire Urban Meyer because of logistics and image and all this other shit. So your point, and now you're saying that it's fake because of what exactly you said yesterday. That's what you're saying?
I'm saying it changes it if he has actual interest. Like if he said I will come there, then for them to be like we're not sure if we'd even entertain that is insane.
Well, I'll tell you that
I would say.
the search this time, the coaching search, last time it was like we had an outside
Oh, yeah.
firm and blah, blah, blah. Apparently this year, it's just Haller. He said today he's basically
It was
doing it
Bill
on his
Beekman,
own.
too.
So,
Yeah, they hired the
yeah. So
well,
that is probably
technically,
better.
the board
That is-
hired
that is
this
his
outside
job.
firm because that's why
The
D'Antonio
board
left.
hired an outside
because the
firm.
board
and-
backstabbed D'Antonio.
Yes. D'Antonio wanted to
Correct.
pick
And the
his
board was like,
successor.
"No, we already hired
And
this
he would have
firm
picked
that has
Harlan
nothing to
Barnett.
do with."
Thank God.
Well, based on that, sounds like I see why people are getting hot and bothered. But
I still put it
if
pretty
the
low.
caveats in there about a bigger job, I would say that's low because I feel like if you're Urban Meyer, you're not just going to go for that opening. You're going to wait unless if he takes it, he really hates Michigan that bad. Like that's all that.
Which
is.
I think
know
he
it's still a
pretty
good job,
does.
but like he really hates Michigan that bad to do it. And I
But
respect
Grant,
that.
at the
move
same
on spot.
time,
Oh
what
my God,
other
dude.
jobs
Urban
are going
Meyer
to be
and
that
Dan
much
Mullen
better?
on the sideline for Michigan State.
You just don't know though. You don't know.
I'm just saying, like,
And Jim McElwain on a fish.
realistically, there's not going to be that many jobs that open that are going to be better. Texas A&M would be better, and
No.
that's like the only big high-profile job that might open.
But you never know what's going to happen. People might bounce to the
Michigan?
NFL. Big
Jim
big
Harbaugh?
schools can always open up.
Jim
He wouldn't
Harbaugh
go to
could
Michigan, so
be
that
a
Or it
rules
could be
that
in
out.
Michigan.
Northwestern
He
job's
was
open.
Midwest.
Green Bay
Come
Packers
on.
coach.
He's not going back to the
Fitzgerald
NFL.
Jim would
comes
be
into
so
Penn
good.
State.
Iowa
Green
retires.
Bay. Be so good in
Who
Green Bay
else?
or Chicago. Jim would be so good there.
Iowa's not a better job.
USC.
You never know. Jobs could open up.
They
USC's
can probably
not
go to the
opening.
NFL.
Cliff Kingsbury.
Oh my
did you
God,
mention
Urban Meyer,
State?
Cliff Kingsbury on the sideline for East Lansing. You know how awesome that would be.
That'd be fun.
And Kevin Sumlin.
Urban Meyer and
And
Brian
Kevin
Hartline,
Sumlin.
sideline, East Lansing.
Yeah, Evan.
Evan, there you go.
Could be a good chance. Urban comes, we take Brian Hartline, we just have him.
He gets to
And
be
he's
the
the OC.
head coach because
Everyone
Urban Meyer
wins.
leaves after 2 years.
But he'd leave us in a better spot. I would take a 3-year Urban Meyer rental.
I want
would.
it for at least 5. I want one full.
I welcome it. I would love the games. As long as Harbaugh's at Michigan, I'm down.
You guys.
Harbaugh's at Michigan, I'm down. For
Urban
this.
is the same age as Lance Leopold, who is one of our candidates. So
59.
But if we're being real though, your best chance for like sustained long-term success is to take one of these 40-year-old offensive brains from the Pac-12 that everyone keeps talking about. That's your best chance, or Elko because he's 46. But like Urban's like maybe a couple of years. He's going to be 60.
give me Dickert
a
over
young guy.
Hartline. He's young and offensive, and
Why does
a
a
head
head
coach.
coach really matter that much? Name it.
it does. It does. That's not even my problem with Brian Hartline.
So
That's
why
not
don't you
why
want
I
him?
don't want him. Because he's born on third, Evan. He hasn't even called plays.
Yes, he does.
He doesn't even call plays. All he has done is recruit. And you know how easy it is to recruit at Ohio State?
Actually, pretty hard when
Probably
you're facing
pretty
actually
easy.
Alabama and all them and the same recruiting kids.
Pretty easy, I bet.
It's hard to recruit at Ohio State. Is that what you just said?
Yeah, I'm sure it's not easy. With the same kids are trying to pick between you and USC in Oklahoma.
All right, so you miss on those kids, and then instead you get all the kids that are still 4 stars that Michigan State can't get.
So you're telling me
You
you
still get
don't
all
want a
of
good
them.
recruiter for the head coach?
I'm just saying I don't think
And
he
I don't
would
think
walk
Brian Hartline
into
was
Michigan
born on
State
third
and
base.
start
I mean, he
recruiting
got
5
recruited.
stars.
He played at Ohio State, was a winner there, got drafted in the NFL, and then went back to his alma mater.
That has nothing to do with coaching him his football days. Like
He
what does
wasn't
that have
born
to
on
do with
third
anything?
base. Correct.
He was born at a hospital like normal people.
He worked his way up
You're
too
right.
in the coaching tree at Ohio State.
But
He
Evan,
hasn't
did you see
been
his
there that
public
long.
speech before the Ohio State game last year? That's not a head coach.
Show up and ball.
I just don't know why you have this
'Cause he
fantasy
recruits
about
well.
him. I
He's
don't
an
know what you
offensive guy.
like. What is it?
He's from the Midwest. He's a hot
You
dude.
think he's cute?
Like, he's
There it
better
is.
options. I'd
All
rather
time
take
seems
him
Yeah.
because he grew up in winning. That's all he's known the past 15, 20 years is how to win. And then you're going to take this Elko kid because he turned around Duke.
Who is he? Is the same way.
He was a
goes
defensive
and
coordinator
wins.
at Texas A&M under the
What-
worst college football head coach of all time.
And defensive coordinator at Notre Dame before that. He's not some loser.
Yeah, but my point of saying
about
that,
Tommy Rees?
look at what he did at Duke. And this is like
No.
he's already lost a game this year. Elko's gonna be irrelevant when Duke goes 8-4.
He lost a game with 30 seconds left in Notre Dame, and he has a Duke football program that's one of the
I
shittiest
don't want
jobs
Elko.
in the
I
country.
think he's overrated.
I think that's a massive mistake, especially since you want some. You always say on this podcast that newer is not always better, and then Brian Hartline is like some new toy that you think
He
is
is.
just going to
He
be
would- he would be a
incredible.
better
and I
head coach
don't
than
get it.
Elko.
It doesn't make any sense.
There's a 50% chance that Brian Hartline's like the next Joe Brady, and we never hear of him again when he's on his
Agreed.
own. But the
What about
50%
Edo?
chance
Brian
he's a genius.
Hartline went to the worst situation possible in the
I
NFL.
would love Edo.
I just can't
Go
believe
Brady.
you just think that Brian Hartline, with his unproven resume, is just a slam dunk over
Correct.
Mike Elko, who has a legit resume. It doesn't make any sense.
From
to
Canton,
me.
Ohio.
It doesn't.
Connor, what's your serious question?
It's we can move on.
No, Connor, I need to know.
It's
He's 36 years old, by the way. He's 10 years younger.
So So you would pretty much take any head coach over Hartline? You just want experience.
No.
Okay. The question's not relevant.
No, I don't need them to be a head coach. I don't. I just think Brian Hartline is a massive risk, and that's all.
Who's a better coordinator that you'd rather acquire? Sharon Moore?
Yes.
Never been a head coach.
Really?
Never called plays.
Jesse Minter?
No.
Sharon Moore got suspended this year. He's a crook. You want him to be your head coach?
Jim McElwain?
No.
You'd rather have the fish running little boy.
Is a liability.
Hartline's been a coach at Ohio State since 2017.
That is only 6 years.
That's
you guys would be the softest football team of all time if he was your head coach, and I'd laugh at it when you get stuffed in a locker by other teams.
Mainly
Hartline?
Michigan.
Yes, like Hartline, like your guys' offense and defensive lines would be poop.
You know how
But the
you
skill
know how
guys would be
good
sick, and they would
our
sell
lines
clicks.
would be with Elko.
Below
Really
average.
good.
They would be good.
We'd have bad skill players.
Can't win.
It's all trade off. Can only win in the trenches.
I'm excited
Michigan's
for the
proving it.
lull of. I'm excited for the lull of the coaching search because I feel like it's hot out of the gate when it's not going to be settled until
Unless
December or
Urban does
January.
You think it'll be done? Yeah, I'm like when
February.
when was
Late.
Mel Tucker hired? Was it like
The actual last second
Because Mark
of
Antonio
the entire coaching
retired in
carousel
February.
because Mark took his bonus.
I don't blame him.
Mm.
F the board.
He needed that bonus.
I'm expecting a
Yes.
new hire
So when we're
before
expecting a
Christmas.
new
It'll
hire
probably be
by
national
Christmas, you think?
championship game. It'll be like when
Right before the bowl games.
Really?
Yeah, before Christmas. You have so much time.
85% of the country
coaches
is
usually
done playing.
take jobs in
And like no one cares about the
between
bowl
bowl
games
season.
anymore. 85,
Yeah.
90% of the country is done by
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
You have a good shot of having a coach
Yes.
the first week of December, I would say.
I don't know. So you think someone
Happens all
leaves
the
their
time.
team?
Luke Fickle did
And then
it.
the new hire, a lot of times a new
it's
hire
very common.
Someone's
watches their
definitely
new team
leaving.
playing in the
That's
bowl
right.
game.
Brian Kelly
Why
did.
there's an interim head coach on the sideline.
Yeah, they don't go. They typically don't stay with the team that went to the
Bielema
bowl.
left,
They
and he
usually
was coaching
leave.
in a Rose Bowl.
Brian Kelly.
What about Lovie Smith?
No.
Speaking of NFL, Connor, great segue. Detroit, Carolina, just real fast. Fox, 1 p.m. Can you guess
Tom
the announcers?
Brenneman.
No,
Beth Mullins,
You didn't get the joke, Grant?
Frank the Tank.
I got it now.
Yeah, that's a
Chris
deep
Myers,
fly
Jonathan
ball.
Vilma?
Jonathan Vilma. I'm with
Ooh,
Connor.
good guess.
Chris Myers is correct, but his partner is
Daryl
Daryl
Johnson?
Akeem
Johnson.
Talib.
So pretty good. I
Oh
would
my
say.
God. Chris
Akeem
Myers got
Talib still
promoted
have a job,
because of
too.
playoff
Yeah.
baseball on Fox. Could be Joe Davis.
Hmm.
Chris Myers got promoted that high, just straight from bottom of the barrel all the way up to the second
true.
line. Oh my God.
Detroit is favored by 9 points. That might be the biggest line spread I've seen in forever. I'm just expected to kill this team. 45 over under. Couple angles to this game. Most notably, I will be in attendance at Ford Field. I'm going to lose my voice. It's going
Who
to
you
be
going to the
electric
game
factory.
with?
Evan's dad, Evan's uncle, my dad, and then I think the houses.
Wow.
I think this is the one
It's
game
gonna
that my
be
dad had 8
Bengals
tickets to,
all over
and I was
again.
well, my track record there is not great. I typically lose when I watch them play at Ford Field. Should be electric.
Wow, my dad is going.
Revenge angle though from last year. This team should
Dad
be
didn't
motivated
He
to
mentioned
win.
it this weekend. He was like, I think I might be going this weekend. And he's like, oh, yeah, Larry said I might be going. I was like, oh, when did he tell you that? Back in July. And I was like, he mentioned it briefly once in July during a golf trip.
You didn't
During like, a golf trip. And he's like, I could be going. I was like, I wouldn't count on it. And look, he counted on it. And he's more.
That's the plan. At least what he told me was last week when I was at his birthday dinner. I'd asked him about the tickets. He's like, we have one more spot for this week. And he lists all the people. I was like, all right, yeah, I'm in. Let's do it. So it's going to be loud. The one thing we're robbed of, though, is that if Chauncey Gardner-Johnson was healthy, we would have for sure gotten an Adam Thielen and CJ-GJ fight because they're already drawn in the preseason.
Oh,
so
I already
I'm
played them.
sad
Good.
about that because I would love to see them get into it.
That's weird. Didn't think you were allowed to do that.
Fun fact, Frank Reich was the last person to hand the ball off to
What,
Barry
fight?
Sanders.
Play in the preseason. That is
Yep.
that is a fun
To Barry
fact.
The
Sanders?
last quarterback.
That is a super fun fact. Frank Reich played quarterback for the
I'm gonna say that.
Lions.
I'm
I
going to
look
use
it
that.
up
Evan.
first. I mean,
I'm
I'm
gonna
like
use that, Evan.
85%
I'm gonna
sure
tell
on that
people
stat. Who
on
was the
Sunday.
quarterback? Who was the team that we were playing?
I
Who was the
don't
quarterback
think
that we were
Frank
facing?
Reich ever played for the Lions.
Doug
Jim
Peterson.
Harbaugh.
Jim Harbaugh. Yep, nailed it. Boom. I saw that somewhere.
But
Can't wait to watch
I mean,
Broke Barry's
I don't think there's
documentary
much to
because he's
talk about this game. I
broke.
think
You can sell the statue out front. You know how much money that would be worth?
do any of you think we're going to
I've
lose?
never been more right, as Grant said. Never been more right.
I think we'll win. I think we'll dominate.
No,
Credit where it's
we're going to
due.
win handily. I don't think there's even a remote possibility we lose unless it's just
No,
one of those fluky
not to the
NFL weeks.
Panthers. At least to
Like
somebody
when
that's
the Cardinals
good,
beat the
please.
Cowboys.
Panthers get their first win on the road.
I
to
do
a 3-1.
wonder-
Carolina's too bad.
We got that huge win in Kansas City, and then we had the major letdown against Seattle. So I do wonder if we'll have a little
I
bit
think
of
we
a
will.
letdown
I think we've
hangover.
learned from our mistakes against Seattle.
I do think that Dan.
I think so too.
I think we're going to run the ball down Carolina's throats for like the entire game. I think it's just going to be
gonna
straight
be what
volleyball.
It's going to be how you guys beat Atlanta. I mean, Atlanta had I can't believe Atlanta only scored 6 against you because he made looked like an MVP against Green Bay. So, you guys should be
Desmond Ritter,
yes.
the worst quarterback in the entire league.
And he scored 25 points against Green Bay.
Evan, I'd like to see you argue that Desmond Ritter's the worst quarterback now. That
Yes,
guy's
the worst quarterback in the
garbage.
league is.
Would you take Josh Dobbs over Ritter?
Yes.
Worst quarterback in the league
Yes.
might be Bryce Young.
Ooh.
He's more talented than Desmond Ritter, though. So,
Would you rather have Tim Boyle or Desmond Ritter?
No.
Tim Boyle. I'm joking. Jets legend.
Oh,
Mac Jones?
Ritter's worse.
Mac Jones is much better.
Yeah, Ritter's worse. Ritter's terrible.
Zach Wilson looked
Much
great
better?
yesterday. Zach Wilson
looked
great
better
last
than
night.
the Patriots would be
yesterday.
better if Bill Belichick was not in the organization anymore.
And Mac
I
Jones
agree.
is much better than Ritter.
Correct.
They had Brian Hartline.
I thought you were going to say if he was quarterback.
If Ryan Hartline was
They
the
would
coach
be.
of the Patriots, they'd be better.
Correct.
Because he could recruit. Correct.
Because he could recruit.
Yep, he could recruit.
Oh.
What is going
You
on?
can't do that in the NFL.
Last game is Michigan at Evans Gophers, PJ Flex
I
squad.
Gross. Another game where we watch Michigan
7:30
destroy
Prime
someone.
time. NBC, probably Little Eagle and Blackwood.
We get to
again,
watch
20.5
Minnesota
point
try to
spread,
out-bully
47 over
Michigan.
under.
It's not going to work.
That'll work. That'll work.
I do think Minnesota's going to give them a bigger.
I love when
Minnesota
teams
will
try
give
to
them
do
a
that.
bigger
Do
fight
they-
than Nebraska did.
Remember, Minnesota should have lost to
Okay.
Nebraska.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
So
39-10.
39-10.
I think it's be a little bit closer than that.
42-0. I don't think it's
Does
45.
Minnesota cover 20 and a
No,
half?
I think they do.
45
No.
to 2.
no.
20 and
No,
a
they
half.
don't. They will not score.
I think we should bet me Minnesota defensive touchdown.
How much
See if
money
we can
could
make
I
it
make if I
back-to-back weeks.
bet that Minnesota scores 0 points? Can I bet that?
It's probably like plus a
Nebraska
thousand. I
scored
feel like
a late
they're
not
touchdown.
gonna
So
score.
it's garbage. You would have that scenario and you'd lose your mind.
Well, it'll get to the fourth quarter with 0 points, and then Minnesota
Correct.
might put up some garbage late. But they're not scoring
I think
points.
it'd be 38
Grant.
to 19.
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota is not scoring
Oh.
19 points. I forgot. Evan's a PJ Fleck guy. This is a bias thing for him. This is not.
That'd
They're
be
not.
insane.
That's
I would cancel a Michigan season
Michigan's
if they
bad
get
if that
19 points to
happens.
Minnesota.
Well,
Correct.
I got to watch
like
this
that's
entire game.
Connor?
not happening.
So
Just
why,
for 19
why did
points.
that
Wasn't-
Iowa defensive
wasn't
touchdown
defense.
not
It was
count?
special teams.
Is punt returns not defense in college?
Because it's defense and special
In
teams touchdown.
NFL it counts.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
So-
slash special teams. Wow.
Oh my god!
So
Minnesota's
Connor, yeah.
bad.
So I went to Google I had to find an answer to this. I was pissed off
That's
that I
crazy.
wasn't cashing that ticket because I was like, "What? When do you get both defenses to score?" So if it's just anytime, if it's an anytime touchdown score and it's just the defense, you'd have to pick the exact player to cross the goal line. So if I had bet Cooper DeJean anytime touchdown, I would have won. But I took
So it's
defense.
different in NFL then. Okay.
Sounds like it. Yeah, it sucked.
Go Cal Holiday,
Also, that
though.
was the most
What an
obvious.
Shout out
punt
Cal
return
Holiday just continuing
ever.
to score touchdowns. We glossed over
What
that,
an
but I
electric,
can't believe
like,
how many
20
times he
seconds.
scored a touchdown. Mind
3
blowing.
times.
Mind blowing.
I didn't say it out loud, but because I didn't want to. I want to be a polite viewer of the game. But when Cooper DeJean, like before he caught it, like the ball was still in the air, I wanted to say out loud, "Oh, this is 6," but I didn't because I was watching with Marissa and her grandma. I was like, "That's
No, I
just
said
mean
it.
to
As
do."
soon as he
I'm
caught
glad
it, I said
didn't
it. I said he's gone.
in hindsight.
I said he's
But it was
gone
the
as soon as he
most
caught it.
obvious. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was too much of a runway.
I've
There
heard
was
from
nobody
multiple
there.
people that it was a touchdown before it was
right
kicked.
after it was kicked.
So, Grant, you're not the only one
No,
who thought that.
halfway through the air. Halfway through the
Or
air,
when it
was a
went
touchdown.
out and you saw that there was no
As
one
soon as the
over
camera
there, and it
turned
was
to
going to
the
be
punt
the easiest
return.
touchdown of all time. I'll be honest. When I watched that play over for the first time, I did think he was going to get tackled. They had a chance. They had a chance to tackle him. He also had a pick, and Grant talked about him last week. That hurt.
He's one of the best players. He's a first round draft pick. He's insane.
Yeah, he's good.
I did. I said his
he
name
did.
last week.
He's a New England Patriot.
So
No. For Brian
he's a New
Hartline.
England- Yes, Connor, you're right. All right. Cheers to episode 135 to Urban Meyer being MSU's head coach and Brian Hartline as OC.
Cheers.
Cheers to that.